That one was spicy.
So the Warriors have to play 48 minutes.
So I see this going 7. I have it. I have the Nuggets in 7.
Ant-Man, Batman, Watchmen, Lakers at 5.
Well, it's money time now.
Oh, yo. What's going on? What's going on? Thanks for C-Dub for. I missed the start of my whole show. Thank you, C-Dub, for starting up. Yeah, man, I was listening to. Oh, I'm here. Oh, the Juan boy finally pulled up. I see your boy. Your boss let you off the leash. Um, nah, no, not scared, man. We gonna do the Legacy series. The Legacy series part 2. We gonna talk about legacies tonight. Man. Listen, man. As I say, it's an honor and privilege to be able to come up and talk basketball. I have a platform to do it. I dreamed on this for a minute. So, starting off by, if guys like to subscribe in the door, and really, I'm a rip for a minute, but soon I'll drop the link. Anybody want to talk about it? Because it's a conversational, interactive program. And we're going to talk about the legacies. So we're going to talk about the legacies of some of the current players and where they're going to wind up. Basically, we go guy by guy. Now, we already talked about who, and we talked about a few others. So we can start. We can start on the guys like Luka. We can start on the guys, again, that they got a long way to go. But let's start on Giannis. Again, this guy who's only played for the Bucks in his career. We can start on the Jokers. I would love to see where you think these guys are. And you see, you got these all-time lists. A lot of these guys are creeping up these all-time lists as far as rankings. A guy like Giannis, a guy like Luka, they've piled up MVPs, they piled up 30 wins game seasons, they piled up all NBA, and that's the thing. Legacies. Well, shout out Joe. Shout out Joe. Legacies are about that. See, one thing about me, and I'll stay consistent on this. Whether we're in whatever era we're in, I don't necessarily think it's a flex staying with one team your whole career. But it is something to be said if somebody does stay loyal and stay in one position, right? When you're the guy when you're the player that got people coming to you, like a Steph Curry, that's going to flex a little bit. Steph Curry is probably they're going to probably do everything in their power, more than likely, for him to retire a Warrior. And it's probably him and Draymond are going to be lifetime Warriors. Again, that's great. But one thing I always say I don't do is I don't criticize anybody for using their power to free agency, for using their power to be mobile. Again, to be mobile, to go to another, from team to team, to go to another team and upgrade uproot your whole family. For those that got families, uproot your whole living situation, go play in another market. You understand what I'm saying? That's that's not an easy thing to do. So those who want to do it, those who decide to do it, if as I'll say, I'll speak his name, LeBron James. I've never, ever, ever criticized LeBron James for going to other teams. I've never done it. Never once. Never once. I don't. Kevin Durant. Now, I said I wouldn't have joined the team that just knocked me out of the playoffs. But, again, that was his right. And he won his 2 championships that way. Are we going to say dumb shit like his 2 championships don't count? Come on, man. No, they count. They were. He was an Achilles injury away from 3-peating. If he was 100%, I firmly believe they beat the Toronto Raptors. But of course, we can't do hypotheticals. So he got the 2 rings. He got 2 Finals MVPs. When it comes to legacies, man, I just did the debate with Patrick Ewing versus Anthony Davis with Dart. Shout out to Dart. Dart did a very good job of in my opinion, capping a little bit, and he won a debate. But there's no doubt in my mind that a guy like okay, so he said Rodman went to the Bulls after they knocked him off. But you're right, he wound up going he wanted to get traded there, number one. It wasn't his choice, the one boy. And he wound up going there 5 years after the fact. So mind you, he gave Detroit another all-star season. Can Rodman say that he played can't beat him, join him again? He, first of all, when he left Detroit, he went matter of fact, he got traded. I believe he technically got traded. I gotta look that up. But he got traded for Sean Elliott. Sean Elliott wound up going to Detroit, but wound up getting. Let me look. I'm gonna look because I can do that. But Rodman never youth free agency. But again, I wouldn't criticize him if he did. So when it comes down to it, I don't criticize players for using their right to free agency to go where they want. What I will criticize them for, and again, I wanted the homie McZuggins, man, who lit up the Sunday live stream to come on here. Maybe we'll get him on the next show, because we're gonna go to Legacy Part 3 on Thursday. This is one of the rare times where I'm setting the shows up in advance. Usually I come with a topic the day of. But hold on, let me look at Rodman. I just want to make sure, because I believe he was traded for Sean Elliott, to be honest. Real quick. Make sure I ain't knock myself off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and see, look, with the Warren boys, as much as we go back and forth, jumping teams don't matter to me either. If you want to jump teams, you jump teams. That's your right. If you want to do a one-on-one every year, it's your right. My deal is, wherever you go, own the results. Own the results. And that's where I will criticize LeBron James. Because to me, it seemed like, look, dude been playing on a 1-on-1, 1+1 contract for the last 4 or 5 years. And it's like almost playing that passive aggressive. I'll commit, but I won't commit. But then I'll get the Lakers to do everything they want me to do. I want them to do. And then act like I'm not getting the Lakers to do everything I want them to do. So, that's another story. Again, we talked about that. If you go back and look, we talked about that on Thursday. Again, Thursday was not a show about steroids. It wasn't a show about steroids. We didn't talk about steroids. We talked about legacy. As I said, if LeBron's on steroid, if he's not, don't matter. They never gonna bang him on it, and we ain't never gonna get proof one way or the other. So all we gonna have is suspicion and motherfucking he said, she said. Because they ain't gonna give him the LeBron. If LeBron fails a test, they not letting that shit get out. Okay, so I don't give a fuck whether he's on steroids or not. The bottom line is what is your legacy gonna be? What are these players' legacy going to be? And can they retire in peace? I think a brother like Patrick Ewing retired in peace. I think a brother like Barkley, Malone, these guys that y'all clown for being ringless, they retired in peace. They gave it their best shot. That's my deal. So if it's going to be legacy, it's going to be stats. You know what I'm saying? See? Bron is 40. He was 39 last year. He was 38 the last year before that, 37 the year before that. That was always y'all excuse, his age. Steph is 37. He's still responsible for what happened with the Western. Y'all was talking about Bron was 37 3 years ago. Same thing. Kevin Durant is leading a contender. Now look, if Kevin Durant, if Houston, let's talk about that. Because if Houston don't get to the conference finals this year, Kevin Durant's legacy, despite the 2 championships and finals MVP, take a major hit. Let me ask you this, one boy. If Kevin Durant gets knocked out in the first round, because I asked y'all this on FYF. If Kevin Durant gets knocked out in the first round with this team he got next year, and let's say he never gets close to a ring again, not even close, where would you put Kevin Durant in your top 100 list? Me, I'd say 20. Maybe about 17, 18. I think he's up there with, in my opinion, Duncan. And again, for those that don't know, I don't keep Duncan in the top 10. I think he's top 15. I think there's better 7-footers than him. I think he's probably about the 7th or 8th best 7-footer, 6'10" player and above, of all time. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. You're not going to rip me off of it. You know. Well, why would I give a pass to them 90s dudes? What? Warren boy, give me the 90s dude you talking about. What 90s dudes what you talking about? Malone, Ewing? The guys that win ringless? See, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do all that. Ring culture, just like LeBron said, it's not the end-all, be-all. I go by whether you were a great player at first. And if you weren't, there's guys that won ring like Robert Horry, who ain't in the class of dudes that never tasted a ring. Robert Horry and Dominique Wilkins can't sit at the same goddamn table. I don't give a fuck if that nigga won 10 rings. He cannot sit at the same table with Dominique Wilkins. All right? I'm sorry. It's just the way it goes. But that's the way, ring culture got people like hypnotized. Ring culture got y'all thinking that Steve Kerr is a better player than J.R. fucking Smith. Let's keep it a stack. Bruh, J.R. Smith should have been an all-star with his talent. He's a knucklehead as hell. But goddamn it, on his worst day, he's a better fucking player than Steve Kerr. Let's keep it a stack. You don't believe me? Okay, Steve Kerr is the greatest highest percentage of all time. But let's talk about NBA Finals when he's 27%. And J.R. Smith is 39%. And Klutman shoots 60% damn near against the Warriors next to LeBron while he was guarding Steph Curry in a goddamn. When did Steve Kerr do anything like that in any goddamn playoff series in his whole career? Steve Kerr was great at hitting regular season 3-pointers when it was drawn up for him. You understand what I'm saying? That's what we talk about when we talk about legacies and, who can sit at a certain table. That's the way I judge players. Yeah, I know when I pull up over there, y'all the first thing is how good were you as a player? What level were you? Were you MVP level? Were you 6th man of the year level? Were you all-star level? Were you perennial all-star level? Were you good enough to be a good player? And let's put it as Drew Holiday. Good enough to be an all-star about 3-4 times, solid all around, two-way player. Not in your top 100. Maybe you can make a case for him be top 100, being he won 2 rings as the point guard. You understand what I'm saying? It'll be his first year. So okay. So he gets a pass because his first year in Houston. But give me a number, one boy. If he gets knocked out in the first round, what's your number? I'll drop the link in a minute because I think I've kind of set the tone for what the conversation is about because I want to talk about legacies. Guys, at the end of the day, it's about competing, bro. It's just about competing. Come out there and compete. And then at the end of the day, you gave your best shot, you won or you lost, live with it. So the link is in the chat already. You know what I'm saying? I think I set up what I want the conversation to be about. I'm not trying to be up here 5 hours like I was on Thursday. But as I said, man, it's an honor and a privilege to be able to come on YouTube on my own platform, my own show, and talk basketball, man. I'm just trying to grow. I'm just trying to have a discussion, man. No agendas here. I like the truth. You know what I mean? STO. Yeah, me and you been going back and forth. You know, again, anybody y'all want to call in? I know been a long work day. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm out here. So the link is in the chat. Anybody want to pull up? Y'all welcome to. But I'm just talking legacy because, and I'm all over the place. Again, I want this to be centered on the guys who are currently playing. So we could get into the question: if Kevin Durant gets knocked out the first, again, he gets to the conference finals. I think Kevin Durant got some face in the street. Because again, the dude won one playoff series since he left Golden State. Y'all got to remember this. When Kevin Durant left Golden State, Kawhi boy, what a pass. I got you, Zay. I got you. I appreciate. Yeah, I'm gonna be on for a minute, man. As long as the conversation keep going. You understand what I'm saying? Juan boy finally pulled up. What up, bro? Salute.
What's up, man?
What's going on? I appreciate you coming through, man. Like I said, I always give y'all the invite. I know we have our little spats and shit, but at the end of the day, I just come up and have an honest conversation. But like I said, if Kevin Durant with this team, with the expectations, because we already know they are Vegas got them second favorite after OKC. If they get knocked out in the first round and he don't get, and Houston don't never get it together, let's say they get to the second round next year and he don't take another ring for the rest of his career, which is winding down, where are you putting Kevin Durant on your all-time list? I just want to ask that.
I'm not seeing, man. This is not a debate conversation for me. This is just a fan conversation.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like some guys get too wrapped up in being debates just because of the GOAT debate. Everybody just want to compare this player to that player. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if we really look at it, like, how many players have you actually seen that's better than Kevin Durant? You know what I'm saying? So if you want to,
15 at best. At best.
15
when
out
it
of
comes
all
down
the
to
players
just
seen
greatness.
Play,
Say again?
out of all the players that I've seen play, if I gotta rank my top 10 off the players that I've seen play, then Kevin Durant is in the top 10. Because he's one of the greatest players I've ever seen play. That's hands down.
I got you. I got you. So there's guys that I didn't see. There's guys like the Doc. I didn't see him in his prime. I saw the end of the Doc at best. You understand what I'm saying? But I can't go back and watch, and I can't go back and look. Like I said, dude, first year in the ABA, he averaged 18 rebounds. Dude was averaging 20 and 20 in college. Now again, we're going, that's just legendary shit, but it just shows you what a beast dude was. You understand what I'm saying? So, he's one of them. And again, see, I look at it this way, right? I just had a debate, Ewing versus AD. And it was a debate about who was a better player, which is hard to have because Ewing was born in 62 and AD was born in 93. They took about two dudes was born 30 years apart. How do you make a debate on who's better? Like, there's not enough evidence. You know what I'm saying? All you can really do is debate their greatness, but we had to debate that of who's better because AD's career is still going. Like, he's still got story to write. I always say this. LeBron is my number 8. Depending on what he do, people don't like that.
We heard your criteria. Come on.
Yeah. But again,
your criteria got him at number 1.
No, I don't. Not ChatGPT, bro. ChatGPT. I put 81. I put the 91 Lakers versus the 01 Spurs because I had a debate on that. And I put that shit in ChatGPT, and I don't care what Lamar say about synergy or whatever the fuck he put on his. It said Phil Jackson was the 91 Lakers head coach. Like, I had to remind ChatGPT, Mike Dunleavy was the coach, not Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson was the Lakers coach in 01, not 91. But anyway, I have LeBron. I don't care what ChatGPT say. ChatGPT be lying his ass off. When I put my criteria, it didn't have Ewing or Pippen in the top 50. Then I had to remind them of some shit. Come on, man.
Yeah, boy, you know what I'm saying? Just because the Pippen and Ewan are in the NBA top 50, got a lot of guys like to use that as a knock. Like that joint was the list was made when I was 13 years old.
AD
You know
peaked
what
higher
I'm
than
saying?
Ewing.
That was made. The list was
Hold on one
made in
second,
'96,
Scott.
and the list was made in '96. So it doesn't. It's not going to account for all the talent that has come into the league after that. Even there's been so much talent in the NBA since 1996 that a top 75 is going to leave guys out like Dwight Howard, Kyrie Irving, and Klay Thompson, who should be who have a right to be in a ranking. There's no way that you got guys that made the list that don't have some of the accolades these guys have.
Like
You know
Well, I
what I'm
think
saying?
I'll say this: the White Howard was definitely
He was
a
snubbed.
let out.
He was snubbed.
He was snubbed for sure.
why was
Kyrie, as far as Kyrie, when Kyrie started his career, when they did it, it was 20. It was it was 2022, right?
I think
Yeah,
20 or
Kyrie had.
2021.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
Kyrie did
It was
enough, to
it
be
was
honest.
it was within the last 5 years. I mean, maybe not Kyrie, but I mean, I know Russell
Definitely
Westbrook was in
Howard.
there.
Howard won 3 straight depoys.
he
Howard was
did?
MVP level player, franchise player, took a team to the finals. I mean, again, some of that shit be
Won the
political,
title.
man. Yeah,
Dwight Howard is Dwight Howard better than AD? To me,
No.
arguable. Yeah, you know what? He's greater.
Uh
He's done
no,
more.
he's
He
no,
not.
done
I
more in his
can't.
career.
I would say
You're not
no.
better.
I would say no.
AD's better than Dwight.
Because like after the White Houston years, you know what I'm saying? Like this is one of the researches I gotta start doing too. Like when guys like the White, I watched this interview with Shaq, and you know what I'm saying? Like after he left, when he got to Houston, the White was talking about, okay, we want you to do the pick and roll. He was like, I could do the pick and roll. That's what I was doing my whole time in Orlando. And then once the emphasis on shooting threes came into play, you know, he got, you know, the offense kind of shifted away from him.
Away from
He
his
was
style. I got you.
but yeah, like you know how you seen how James Harden be playing with Capella, same type of player, you know, lob threat. Here, you go get
So
I
look,
shoot, you go get the
that's an
rebound.
You know what, boy, that's an interesting question because one of the things I could say, AD is a better player, right? He
He's
does
better
more. He has more
offensively.
skills.
He's better
Yeah,
offensively.
but here's the thing: Dwight Howard is a greater player, meaning he's accomplished more. And now, mind you, his career started in '04. AD started 8 years later. But as of today, Dwight Howard is technically accomplished more,
I
especially
don't
if you go back 3 years ago. Now, again, bro, so here's one thing about AD. Before coming to the Lakers, AD had one winning
AD
season. That
was
was
a
my
top 5 player before joining the Lakers.
okay. But you know what? How are you that when you only had led a team to the playoffs twice and you
His
only
team
had
wasn't
one winning
good.
season?
You
His
got to
team wasn't
remember
good.
and that's another thing we got to start discussing too, because New Orleans, when has the Hornets, I mean, when has New Orleans
Yeah,
been
the
a
Pelicans.
properly ran organization?
The
Like
only time the
they didn't
Pelicans been
even get it
relevant is
right.
Yeah,
when
Like
Chris Paul.
they didn't get it. Yeah, they let Chris Paul like literally like bounce, and they don't have. New Orleans is a football state. Look at LSU in the sense
understand it.
it's a football state. They don't
Understand
know
it.
what they're doing as far as basketball. They can get talent, but they don't have they don't have the pieces around that talent to develop it correctly. When they got Chris Paul, they got rid of Chris Paul before he hit his prime. And remember, Dave West and Chris Paul was a dynamic duo over there. David West was 20 and 10 when he was playing alongside Chris Paul. They had Tyson Chandler. Who else? I think they probably had Desmond May. When they had a nice little team. Matter of fact, the best team Chris Paul had in New Orleans was 2011 when they lost to the Lakers. They didn't have
Now
they
I give
didn't.
you this. I give you
You know
that.
what I'm saying? And
No, I give you that. They are a
so
Mickey Mouse organization, right?
yeah,
I
like
agree.
most of these, like Charlotte, you know, you
A
can't
lot of them.
expect
A lot of them. But here's the thing, though. again, Dwight Howard, in my opinion, and this is where greater and better are two different discussions, right? I will say this. He had Drew Holiday 5 of the 6 years. Drew, now, I'm not saying that's enough to necessarily go to the finals like Giannis and the Celtics did, because they obviously, those teams had a lot of other good players around them and a good system, and they were well run, and they got great coaches. But and Dwight Howard had pretty good coaches too. He had Doc Rivers. I believe he had let me see. His first rookie year I think Doc was gone. Hold on a second. As
Yeah,
a
I think
rookie,
Doc was his
he
rookie. I
had
think
Johnny
Doc was
Davis
his
here. So he
rookie
never
coach.
had Doc Rivers, but he had Brian Hills, Stan Van Gundy. By the time he got Stan Van Gundy, they started making playoff runs. And obviously 09, they went to the finals. Again, the three straight depoys for Howard. I'm just saying, because at the end of the day, like that is gonna matter. I mean, yeah, look, it's arguable. I think Howard got shortchanged though. I mean, again, you're talking about a guy, and again, until his back started, that's the other thing that fucked him up. His back, he started having back problems before he got to LA. He played the 1 year in LA. Then, he plays as a centerpiece to D'Antoni's offense for 3 years. He got 3 straight depoys. He got 4 straight top 5 MVP finish. See, if these little metrics count, you could, if you want it to count, if you don't, it's one thing, right? Dwight Howard got four top 5 MVP finish, and he had 4 top 5 depoys, including winning it 3 times. So right there, he's beating, for a career, he's beating Anthony Davis as far as that metric alone. Now, Anthony Davis led the league in blocks 3 times. Oh, here's the other thing about Dwight Howard in his favor. He led the league in rebounds 5 times. He led the league in blocks twice. So again, it's like, it's nitpicky, and it's like you're pulling grasping the straw. At the end of the day, I think both of them should have been in the top 75. It's basically what do you call it? It's a damn political game. I think the little bit of bad press. See, the problem with Dwight Howard, I think his career fell off straight after Houston. Right? His career fell off straight after Houston.
I say like Atlanta, because he did a I mean, yeah, man. I mean, like, it's not like he was in a situation to where he could be that Dwight that we knew, because every team he went to the Hornets. You think like Jordan was going to make sure that
that's what last year happened, a double-double.
Walker was, you know what I'm saying? Kemba Walker is a scorer. He's not going to get him involved like James Harden would. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
I look at it this way: if Dwight Howard ain't in your top, he's definitely top 75. I'm gonna sit here and debate anybody on it. A guy with 5 rebounds, bro. Like, come on, man. How many people got 5 rebounds title? 5 people. Double. He had his flaws. He had his goofiness. But at the end of the day, the man was a franchise player for Orlando. You know what I mean? The Lakers got him. It didn't work out, but he still had a good season. He still had three pretty good seasons in Houston. Where I forgot he was in Washington. That year he was in Washington. That was the year before the lockout season. I mean the COVID season. And then the Lakers, he got his ring. He got a ring with the Lakers. He was a 6-man. He was a 6-man of the year candidate. So again, Dwight was always, he had a representative career, man. That's what I'm saying. He had a real solid career. And again, if you talk about him at AD, I think both of them get it. But I think still. See, Dwight Howard's career is over. He's already in the Hall of Fame. He's already in the Hall of Fame. Like, he could come back, but he's already in the Hall of Fame. So, at the end of the day, Dwight had a good solid career. He's definitely top. I think he's top 50. He's definitely top 75. if you put him anywhere from 50 to 60, I ain't mad at you. But bro, some of these cats, man, again, one cat from that Bleacher Report shit put Patrick Ewing at 80. I don't give a fuck how you feel about Patrick Ewing. Let's just be, because we're gonna get into them legacies. We're gonna do. So this is about the current players. Thursday, I'm gonna start talking about the Kobe era, the Dirk era, the Tim Duncans of the world. Right, I'm gonna talk about their era. Right, Garnett, all them cats, Paul Pierce. And then I'm gonna do the 90s next Tuesday. So this is gonna be a series, the legacy series. And we unless something pops up, I mean, really, as far as what's going on, ain't nothing, I mean, I don't get into all that tabloid shit. Again, I baited people with the whole LeBron Barnes shit, but I ain't talk about him rocking steroids because, as I said, whether he's on it or not, it ain't gonna change his legacy. They're not going like, it's not going to change his legacy at all, to be honest. Whether they found, because I asked my mom, I said, they found a smoking gun. Would you think that's going to affect his legacy? No, it's not. And they're not going to find a smoking gun because the league isn't going to make sure they're not going to find a smoking gun, whether it is or not. And again, I just don't, to be honest, I don't care, bro. At the end of the day, look, when it came to baseball, all them niggas took steroids, right? I think they embarrass themselves with their goddamn sanctimoniousness to the point where they don't recognize the records and they don't put Roger Clemens and Bonds and them in the hall. They just made their fucking game a laughing stock. So now you putting inferior players to Bonds and Clemens in the Hall of Fame, and you just like killing the whole era when y'all damn sure cashed them checks when Bonds was hitting them all them damn home runs. The owners cashed them checks like a mug, so they so full of it. So at the end of the day, I tell you, the NBA is a sport about money, as it should be. The WNBA is becoming a sport about money because I found out what the whole formula is now too. Trust me, they're gonna be getting a pay raise. They might not get $1 million, but they'll start getting $500,000, and in a few years, one of them females gonna get $1 million. And you know what? Props to them. I ain't mad at them. You know what I'm saying? Because we were at the point. A lot of people. That's the next thing. A lot of people don't realize, man, back in the 80s, Magic was the first guy to get $1 million in any sport a year. That was unheard of when he signed at 25 for 25. Y'all don't understand that, man. This is what, early 80s? But even then, it took Kareem to be the next, a couple of years for him to be the next one. These cats are getting $1 million, man. Shout out to Hollywood Hearn, man.
Well, salute to y'all, man.
Salute.
Hey, Ro, man. The LeBron boys been quiet, haven't
Hey, they been crying, but I've been on some other shit, man. Look, I listen to all the content bashing them, but I mean, this is something I want peace, man.
they? No. It ain't like to be real. To be real,
Uh-huh.
it wouldn't even be an issue if bro didn't speak on everything else. You G check niggas, then in 2025, Bron been G checking niggas the whole 2025.
Yeah, but he
And,
also been bringing his own smoke. So
yeah, but in a sense, shit like that, a little nigga like T, I ain't gonna let no little nigga even play with me like that. So, bro, I play chess with that nigga. Buy his own shit and shut his shit
got you.
down. Buying his own shit. I'ma buy your shit and shut you down, nigga. Don't you never put that shit on my name, nigga. That's how you supposed to come at little niggas like him. That's how you supposed to come at little niggas like him. That's why I'm disappointed. And you could G check Stephen A in front of the world. G check that nigga. Buy his own shit and shut down the podcast, man. That's all you gotta do, man. He got sponsors. Tell the sponsor, nigga, I'ma buy his podcast and we go shut it down, nigga.
I'll be on
Don't
some
play
real
with
shit,
me, man.
man.
Don't
I'll be
play
on
with
some
me,
real
man.
shit. I'll be on some real shit though. And the way I see it, and again, I look at things a little different over here, man. I just said this to my mama right downstairs, man, because she's into the love of basketball, right? That's what she watching. All right. I'm visiting my mom for the summer, so I'm down in NC. But one thing about us cause she be on this, right? She love the Kardashians. She love that basketball wild shit. One thing about thing you can say about the Kardashians, man, they learn how to get fucking money, man. And I think we need to understand, man, whether we on this side or that side, the NBA is a sport where everybody getting money. You compete, but they getting money. So the more bro, I did my fourth show. I think it was my fourth show. The Knicks was playing the Lakers, and that Stephen A. shit happened. And the show, ironically, was the media being unfair to LeBron. And then all of a sudden, Stephen A. I didn't even realize it. I'm watching the show in the background while I'm trying to do the show, and my co-host was fighting with my boy from high school because one is a LeBron fan, the other one can't stand LeBron. And I didn't even realize that the whole shit was breaking about LeBron and Stephen A. And real talk, I'm sat here and think, I'm not putting it above it. Them dudes ain't working together. Because the more this shit goes, the more it feeds the news cycle. The more it feeds the news cycle, the more niggas watch. The more niggas watch, the more the ratings and the money and the more the ratings, the more money gets generated through this. So my thing is, like I said, on some real shit, we need to learn to make money together, man. Regardless of whether we hate each other or not. Because at the end of the day, that's what the NBA has been. That's what the NBA model has been, and that's why.
But you don't play with nobody
No, I got
man
you,
like
and I
that.
got you. I got you. It.
Ain't, you ain't for to play with mine, man. You ain't for to put me in shit
I
that
got you. So
that could put a
if he got a
strain
CT,
on
he got a CT.
me.
I hope he pull up on T the way he did Stephen A. next time we see him. And I hope it ain't a show for the cameras. To be
Then if he
honest,
pull up a big ass pause, if big ass Braun pull up on little ass T, y'all gonna be saying the same shit y'all was saying about why he pulling up on a little nigga and all that.
Nah,
Everybody,
but
first of all,
T bigger than
T got
Stephen
some
A.
goals with him, don't he? I don't know
T
yeah,
T.
bigger than
I
Stephen A.
mean they cool with each other, but everybody know T is he a jokester. That's he didn't. Y'all
Man,
niggas
that one
people
no.
took that
You
shit he
don't
said
joke.
and
You don't
Yeah,
ran with it.
joke. You don't
I
to
joke
got
like
rap
you.
that though.
to rap got reloaded. Yes, Jordan matching and Bird did play on super teams. That's not even a debate.
We'll talk about that in a hot minute.
Nah, but one boy, you don't
I
joke.
will touch on
You
that
don't joke
before we
like
go.
that.
That's why I put it up there.
That
That's why I
one
put
no.
it up there because I think y'all need to learn the difference. And I'm gonna speak on that. But as far as this, right? Yeah, I
No.
mean, look, that's why I say, bro, I didn't make one video. I didn't, and I ain't mad at those that did because it was a hot topic. But I knew it was some shit. Like I said, it
See?
was a hot topic, but I ain't talk about it. Me personally, because it's like
Well,
I
go.
can talk about it all day. We not gonna find no proof one way or the other. Yo, trust me, bro. I guarantee the way I know who run this league. I know that the NBA is all about the integrity of the league. So I said to Casual and Lamont and all the rest of them last up. I'm like, bro, they will sacrifice a Tyreek Evans. They will sacrifice one of these mid card niggas. They will never let one of the faces of the league, one of the top main eventers. It's like wrestling, right? Like I was talking about wrestling because that was the same day Hulk Hogan died. Like it got to the point where we all knew all them 80s niggas was doing steroids, right? It is what it was. Even Vince McMahon himself was doing steroids. But once they split the wellness program, man, they was not going to send no goddamn Triple H or The Rock or John Cena, whoever got caught with a test home. They was going to send the mid-card niggas home. Like I said, that's why, who was the last one that just got suspended? Oh, Bobby Portis.
Yeah,
Like,
they don't care about them.
that's what I'm saying. They will let the mid card, they will let the role players and the nice players go, but they will not suspend. Like Steph Curry will not get caught. Steph Curry will stay wholesome and clean until the time he retires.
Like I'm gonna be
Okay,
real. I'm gonna be real, King.
Steph don't drink or do none of that shit.
I'm gonna
that's
be
what I'm
real,
saying.
King, bro. I'm gonna be real,
What
King,
happened?
bro. Like had the NBA made sure that Michael Jordan didn't become the Pete Rose of basketball. You know what I'm saying? Cause they had all the dirt. They had all the dirt to get that nigga the same way they got Pete Rose. And the NBA made sure that we ain't gonna let Jordan get caught up in that, and we not gonna have the same stigma that baseball had at the time. Baseball took a big hit
What's
when
up,
they was
Paul?
catching, when they caught Pete Rose and all this shit. So
This is my
yeah,
first
See,
time being.
you right.
see, you know what though? Here's the thing on that. Baseball is one of you a baseball cat too, right, Herm?
Oh yeah, the shit. That's my thing.
That's your first sport, right? That's my first sport too. That's the
That's
first
my
sport I
love.
love. That was my first love, for real. Baseball though, where they fucked up is they got too goddamn sanctimonious. They got too like. First of all, you gonna tell me nobody
Oh,
knew
they doing a great job now though. They bounce back.
they
Bro,
well,
you
you
got
know,
to think, man.
they got the
Baseball,
Japanese dude,
Baseball is the best it's been in a long time. They
yeah,
and
just
because they had to
it's
clean up. Like, but they don't exempt nobody. What's his name just got caught like a couple years ago? Fernando Tatis from the Padres,
yeah,
when he got paid like 300, 400 million. He got caught juicing. He
yep.
got suspended. So they don't
yeah.
take the
Oh yeah,
MLB.
they
They
do.
don't
You
play
right
that
about
shit,
that.
bro. They don't. The MLB. They have to be hard on it because them players make too much money. Them niggas make some of them play. Otani probably make more money than the
He
whole
make
basketball
800
team.
million. He got an $800 million.
Yeah, like he
But
make more than the whole
wait.
basketball team, man.
Y'all see when his interpreter got in some shit they threw because they need that Japanese market. They need them Japanese viewers. So they whatever happened with his interpreter, they got that shit off of him. You understand
But
what I'm saying? As
you
far
gotta
as
look at Fernando Tatis was one of the best players in the
One of
game
the best
that's
players
true.
before he got caught. You know what I
and he
mean?
got
That's true, but they got
but
enough Latin stars. And I got you. You
they
right.
had to get him though, and that
Yeah.
hurt the Padres because the Padres actually was supposed to do what the Dodgers did that year.
Yep.
If he didn't get
Him and
suspended,
man, that's why they signed Manny. That's why they signed Manny Machado.
yep, because if that nigga didn't get suspended, they probably could have competed for the World Series that year or so.
Yeah,
That
what
hurted
was
the
that like a
Padres.
year or two ago? That was like a year or two
Yeah,
ago.
that was 2 years
Yeah.
ago. That hurted the Padres big time.
Look, it's just like the WWE, and then 'cause, I know just to bring up, but the whole like it can't get no worse. I'll put it this way, because remember, y'all gotta remember the players union fought like hell to even for them to even do drug testing, and as I was saying, it took the government to get involved in that shit, have all them hearings. And then guys like Palmero and all these motherfuckers like McGuire had to go up there and fucking plead the fifth. Barnes had to go plead the fifth, right? And Palmero was up there. Remember Rafael Palmero? This nigga hit 500 home runs. And,
No, but
and
Roger Clemens fucked up the most though.
yeah,
That
oh
nigga.
yeah, oh yeah. So they already scorched the earth. So at the end of the day, yeah, they'll suspend the motherfucker.
But
First of all,
Yeah,
they
I
have to
give
they'll
suspend 8
suspend
games.
you. They
I
shit.
give
Andy
David
Pettit was one of
Stern.
the best. Andy Pettit was one of the best pitchers in the league when he got suspended.
Yep, they got him
Oh
too.
yeah, he
But
admitted it. He admitted he took four.
I'm gonna give this nigga credit though. David Stern, once he saw what was happening with baseball, he made sure to cross his T's. Man, he did everything he could to
Yeah,
make sure that the NBA didn't get involved in the
yeah.
same
As
scandal.
I've always said. As I've
And that's
always
why it's
But
said.
hard to get
He
an
is the
but
GOAT
NBA nigga.
commission.
It's
some of the
hard to get an
players,
NBA nigga.
yeah. But the NBA players, it'd be more like sometimes it'd be like a more. They don't get banned or for taking public for taking performance enhancement drugs. They be battling other addictions. Like look, no, a lot of people don't. I
Cocaine.
was watching some other day. I ain't know Willie Cauley Stein had a pill addiction
Yeah.
and an alcohol addiction. That's why he out of
Yeah,
the league.
yeah, yeah. I
Yep.
mean, look, cocaine with the
Tyrese
I gotta
Evans.
tell you, but Roy Tarpley was about to be a nice motherfucker, man. And the league just said, nope, we're not gonna have what the league did not want. See, they was happy. The league didn't want a Hank Gather situation, right? So not to say that they was happy that Lim Bias happened with Lim, but they didn't want what happened to Lim Bias to happen on the floor. You know what I'm saying? So
Happened to
these
Reggie
cats
Lewis.
taking coke.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like Hank Gathers didn't die from getting high. He died on the court.
Yeah, I know, but Hank Gathers died for the NCAA. The NBA didn't want to see that shit happen on their floor. So
He
it
Happened to
was
was a
Reggie
like,
man
Lewis.
child. He was a man
yeah, well,
child back in the
Reggie
day.
Lewis, that shit happened in off-season workouts and all that. Yeah, it's a bad situation. But see, in I don't know. Look, again, Reggie Lewis had a heart defect. I don't know if they was caused by drugs, but again, they was real sensitive to that. So again, y'all gotta get Stern understood. He understood the program. The NBA They didn't want no scandals. They didn't want no. And then you can say they protected Jordan. Look, Jordan. As I look at it, because I was close to the situation enough in New York to know that he would come to New York and then go fucking play blackjack. Go to Atlantic City, play blackjack. Come get his limo ride back up for the game. You know, I mean, if you gonna tell me he was betting on the Bulls or betting the line, I think Jordan just loved the blackjack.
He did. That nigga did that. That nigga did that.
All right,
He was
I mean, you know, it is. I mean,
Jordan,
to be honest,
Jordan my goat, but he did this shit.
if he did bet on the Bulls, he probably bet on himself. Because why would that nigga is too?
That's why he was in debt a lot too, though, because he was betting on himself all the damn time, and I think from the rumors that this is all alleged, these are all rumors, but they were saying they wanted him to throw that finals against the Suns, and he didn't.
Yeah. Nah. Okay. So now you got the whole. I mean, see, look, y'all gotta understand. I can go deeper on this,
But that
man.
was due
Because the
to his
Knicks are the
gambling
Knicks.
shit, though. That was due to that gambling shit, man.
Look, the NBA, and this is why New York basketball scene is fucked up because of the CCNY betting scale. That shit go back to the 50s. Like, people forget that City College and fucking NYU and Manhattan College, those are like they were like Duke, Carolina. Those are the big ass programs in the country. CCNY went to 4 straight, I think they went to 3 championships in 4 years. But when the mob got a hold of some of them players that needed some money and had them shaving points, that shit fucked it up. And basically City College is Division III now. They were what the biggest Division I schools in the country.
I'm gonna tell you who else gonna get exposed soon, and they got them too. It's just a matter of time. Terry Rozier go get caught up in that gambling shit because he a gambling motherfucker for
Look,
real.
I look at it this way too. I know
they
the
got.
fact that they legalized and endorse all this sports betting. It's gonna be. And again, if I always say this to my boy JB, if it ever gets out that the league be fixing games as far as pushing lines or whatever, they could wind up facing a class action lawsuit based on all these gamblers losing money off these goddamn sites.
Hey, you remember Tim Donnie? He actually said that, man.
I know, but it's even worse now because they've legalized shit. Not only do they legalize, they sponsor it. So you know that. Look, bro. We can get into a whole lot of deep shit on this because at the end of the day, now nobody can say they holier than now. Because again, the league is everybody. One of these days, I might get a goddamn sponsorship from Prize Pick or some shit. That's my goal. But at the end of the day, y'all better be careful because the league better make sure that every little thing, every little series they want to fix. Or a lottery they want to fix, you already look. I'm a conspiracy theorist to the fucking heart. But again, at the end of the day, I know that the powers that be will burn enough. It will burn the paper before it ever gets out and fuck up the dough. So it is what it is, man. Yeah, Deontay Porter banned for life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, now we talk about Beasley. Hopefully, I ain't gonna lie, I like Beasley. I want the Pistons to do well next year. So even as a Knicks fan, I think what'll happen is he'll wind up getting a 40-game ban based on something. I don't know. He'll get like half the season or some shit. It is what it is. But
I'm looking at this graphic that you got for this legacy joint. Everybody that's pictured in it got a ring except for Luka and Embiid. And Luka's been to Embiid is the only one in that pick that hasn't been to a conference finals yet. So you want to talk about legacy? His is on the line because they got some pieces in Philly now.
Embiid is the David Robinson of the
Man, that nigga got that. Hey man, one boy. I don't want to talk about that bum till you get past the second round, man. He got to get past.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like I was telling dude on GJK the other day. Like he was talking about, LeBron should have went to go play with Embiid. I'm like, LeBron already took a risk going to play with Kyrie And he was injury. Both Embiid and Kyrie were injury prone before they stepped in the NBA. So going back to Cleveland, that was a risk. And you know what I'm saying? The way that Kyrie plays, that's not good for his lower limbs. Because you know he stopped on the
The
dime. He got a lot of
NBA actually got lucky that he got hurt because they really was supposed to win back to back. They were supposed to win 2015 and 16. They kind of, I mean,
and that would have been
2014
crazy
and
if they'd
15.
have won that without Kevin Love. Because he got hurt in the
Yeah,
first round.
but I think they would have won without Kevin Love. Though, 'cause Cleveland had everything going. They just were missing a nigga like Kyrie when they was up 2-1 without
They just
both of them
didn't
niggas. They just
didn't
needed a Kyrie.
leave
They would have
pressure off
won this series. One more
didn't
to be real.
leave
They had
pressure off of
everything else rocking.
Yeah, so I mean, like, and B, I think, you know, Paul George had like the worst season I ever seen from him since like his
Hey,
rookie.
I got
McZuggins.
So
Hey,
you got
McZuggets.
McZuggins. Shout
Get
out,
on
shout
the
out to McZuggins. Hold on one second.
get
McZuggins.
on.
I know
I
AOH
want the
sent you
smoke.
the. Hold on one
I
second. One
want
second. One second. No, I'm gonna give it to you, homie. McZuggins. When you get a chance, man, give me a 1 second because I would love to have you on the next show. If you know, or you can pull up. I got the link. I dropped the link in my chat. I don't know if you watch it on but we really got to have a discussion because you was spitting the other day. You know, a couple of guys up here might not like what you were saying, but you was speaking fact. So I would love to have a conversation with you, McZuggins. Hit me up on email or whatever. But I'll
McZuggets.
put the link in the chat again. But you got it, bro. What's up?
McZuggets, get up here, bro. Get up here.
Oh, you
I'm sick
want to
of you guys.
debate McZuggins? So you got some smoke from McZuggins?
I'm
Look.
I'm sick of you guys holding double standards for LeBron where you guys don't keep it all across the board. You guys got Bird over LeBron. Please, he's not even better than Jerry West. Get out of
Well,
here, bro.
that's enough. Again, we gonna get this legacy series. We gonna talk about a lot. All right, this legacy series. We gonna speak about a lot. But
but
yeah,
yeah,
I
B
got
got
my
it.
reason for Bird.
There's no reason for Bird.
Well, yeah, McZuggins, man, bro. Like I said, you was a hit the other day. You was spitting
Get
facts.
on here,
So
McZuggins. It'd be much appreciated. Get on here. You're good. You're good enough to type in the chat. We
so
don't want chat warriors.
me and you might disagree, and again because you're a minor technically. We don't I got respect for you for pulling up. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody, Mar was talking about you was a 13-year-old. So you said you was 16 and what? I respect for you for pulling up because a lot of cats will talk and they won't pull up. Again,
I've been,
I'll have a
I've been,
debate with anybody.
I asked Sports and Fitness Ranks to pull me up, and he refused. So,
Well, that's that. Again, I don't know if there's YouTube rules or anything like that, but
get on him. I want the smoke. Come on, you're good enough to type in the
you know what
chat.
I'm saying?
You can cook.
Some of these cats will never pull up. Some of these cats will never pull up at all.
I don't know why they're scared. It's just a debate. No one can
But you
like
know what? I'll give
walk.
you credit, man. I'll give you credit because you seem like a knowledgeable kid. You understand what I'm saying? You seem like a knowledgeable kid, and at least you do the research to even have an opinion. You know what I'm saying? A lot of cats, they won't. Again, I can school you on some Bird facts and why I think Bird. Again, I like guys that always win. I like guys that never have lose more games than they won in a certain
Bird
season.
has lost more than anyone.
But it is what it is. Like I said, Bird but when his back was fucked up, was still hitting 20, 10, and 5 on 45, on 49%, 30, 40 from 3, made his free throws. He still was putting up 20, 10, and 5 with a fucked up back. He had the one season when he only played the 6 games. And that was the season I think the Celtics only won 40.
I don't care. They guys called Joel Embiid soft, even though he has a knee injury. So I don't care. You want to call guys
Joel Embiid is
Kawhi Leonard?
always hurt. Well, that's my thing.
Huh?
Here's my thing with Joel Embiid. We was talking about Joel Embiid's legacy, right? One boy brought that up. Right? One boy brought that up. Joel Embiid. And me being a Knicks fan, right? I had to hear all summer. Joel Embiid was healthy. When the fuck is Joel Embiid healthy? And that's my thing. If you wasn't healthy, why the hell you in Paris dancing it up all summer? What's your
Bro,
number
he's
one
not.
job? You ain't even
He's not.
American. You fucking from Cameroon.
Olajuwon from Lagos, Nigeria, he played for Team USA.
He
From
did.
Patrick,
He
he was
did. He
Jamaican.
became a citizen. But what you know what
Wasn't Patrick
Olajuwon didn't do?
Jamaican?
Olajuwon played for Team USA after winning 2 championships.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he only
He
had
played
one.
on Dream Team too, sir, in
Oh,
'96.
He played.
oh,
He played on the '94 team though too.
Okay, so he won a chip before he played. So he won a chip. This nigga gets knocked out in the first round when
but
everybody said
David Robertson was on the team, and he didn't make a conference finals on the first time.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
dream.
well, he was only in the league for 2
Yeah, Karl
years.
Malone, John
No, he
Stockton.
wasn't. He was drafted in '88.
Yeah, he
He
got
was
drafted in.
drafted in
Yeah,
'87,
he
but
got
he didn't
'87.
drafted
make
in
it.
'88. I
See,
think
this
he
is where you
started
got
in
to
'89
learn.
because he.
See, I respect you for looking back, but David Robinson didn't make his debut to '89 because he had to finish his naval service. He
He
had to get
played.
a
He
Navy
played.
5 years
Yeah,
before.
yeah, but he
He
still
And
didn't win the
actually,
title though. He didn't make a Western Conference Finals appearance either. You
but
know
he
what I mean?
eventually got to the West Cup final in '95. But here's the
Yeah, but
point.
the Dream Team was '92.
Okay, but he was only in the league for 2 years. What are we like? We killing him for that? He was on a team at 8. Matter of
Yes,
fact, he was on a
he
team that
performed.
lost in '88 to fucking Sabonis and them in the USSR.
Let me
So
let me see who you lost to. Let me see the juggernauts that he lose to.
he was bro. He was in the league for 2 years. Of course, who would turn down? Hold on 1 second, guys. Come on.
Yeah, but that's not the
Did
thing. They
did
got
Karl Malone make
rookies
a
straight out
Western
of.
Con?
Look at
Did
all the
Karl
rookies
Malone
that
made a
came straight
Western
out of
Conference Finals
college that made
appearance?
the Olympic team. Christian
Yeah,
Laettner,
well,
Emeka
Carmelo.
Okafor, AD. These guys didn't even play an NBA game before they made the Olympic team. So you know what I mean? It don't mean that you got to make a conference finals appearance or win a title before. Because the only people on the dream team that won the title was Jordan, Magic, Bird, MJ, and Scotty.
I'm looking it up. See if Malone made a conference finals before the Dream Team.
Nope.
He didn't.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Neither did and so if Malone didn't make it, Stockton didn't either. Neither did Chris Muller.
I'm gonna see if they made it in '91.
I think
Wait,
Ewan didn't
nope. It
make
was
his
it
first
was
conference
Lakers and
finals
Blazers.
till
Lakers and
'93.
Blazers. Lakers and Blazers. Uh, yeah, they didn't make one. But yeah, these '90s players, they get overrated by nostalgia, bro. Miss Zuggins, pull up. Get your boy Angry Old Hoops, Sports Fitness and Rants, and let's have a 2v vibe. Get all of them. Scap Attack, 93Z, get all of them.
Yeah, it'd be bad. Yeah, it'd be bad. And the crazy thing, right? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what everybody else be thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoever you got, whatever guy you pushing for, whether he the GOAT or you think he top 10, I mean, at least make your case
But
legit. And the
but they
wild
don't
thing
make
is,
sense though. They
yeah,
don't
you
make
got to make it
sense.
make sense. Like, I be telling dudes, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a Lakers fan. You know what I'm saying? I've been diehard Lakers is the year that short Shaq and Kobe first started playing together. You know what I mean? And I'm watching, and I'll tell about everybody talk about how tough the West was. The West was tough because they had dominant big men with perimeter players that could complement them. You know what I'm saying? Like you look at the 2000s, that West with the power forwards probably was like the
It
strongest
was the greatest era for
ever.
power
That was the
forwards.
power forward ever.
What
You had
era?
Chris Webber, you had Duncan,
Amari
you had
Stoudemire,
Amari,
Zebo,
you had Dirk,
I'm gonna
Zach
tell you.
Randolph.
Bruiser.
Hey,
Yeah,
but I'm
Yeah,
gonna
Boozer
tell you
came
Bruiser.
that
along. Then you had LaMarcus
Chris Webber,
Aldridge, Zach
Chris Webber.
Lamar
Randolph.
Odom. Lamar Odom was nice.
Yeah, you
But
know what I'm saying?
people
And like,
keep forgetting though. It was arguments, especially from 2000 to 2003, that C Webb then there was in the conversation the best power forward in the game.
I
That's a
think he got,
fact.
I think he got jerked for MVP the year that had the first
2000,
lockout.
yeah, 2000. He was actually.
The '99 season. 90,
Oh yeah,
Karl
yeah, yeah,
Malone
yeah,
got it.
yeah, 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 yeah.
In my problem with
Ain't
them
that the
is
year? Ain't that the year that nigga averaged 27 and 14?
That he was killing.
Yeah, I think that was the year he averaged
He was
27 and
killing.
14.
Yeah, he was killing,
My my
but
problem was
Sacramento wasn't going to get nowhere with Jason Williams as their point guard. That's why they made the trade for Mike Bibby. Mike Bibby kind of, like he wasn't as turnover prone. He's a better shooter, and what I mean, like, and the crazy thing, Jay Will, he went to Miami and wound up settling down. You know what I'm
Nah, but
saying?
then, but
Like,
then they got them tall Europeans and Hito Turkoglu and Pedro Stojakovic added too. Nobody in the NBA had shooters like 6'8" and up like the Kings had with Pedro and Hito. That
can I
that was
can I
something that the NBA wasn't used to at the
eh,
can I
time. That's
expose
why.
the MJ? Can I expose these MJ channels for a bit? I want to expose
Oh
them.
man, I'm an MJ fan, nigga. What's wrong with you? Why you want to go at MJ
No,
fan?
I'm not going after you. I'm going after them. They're being inconsistent.
What they
How,
do?
huh? Okay, I'll tell
What
you.
what
They
they do?
say LeBron. They see LeBron can't be on Jordan's level because he doesn't have the accolades, which is fine. But why is Magic Johnson and Larry Bird over them when LeBron has clearly better accolades? And I mean clearly better accolades.
well, because you
LeBron
got to
has
understand,
longevity.
the media, majority of the media that does the voting and has
Yes.
all the all the I wouldn't say all the say, but they have majority of the influence. They're gonna lean. They're gonna lean to guys towards their era. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna make it like I think that's what's wrong with the whole basketball debate. Cause people go too much off of stats and accolades and just if you wanna compare a player like this players that have more talent than guys who that there's guys that have more talent and no rings than guys who have like look at Robert Ory. Robert Ory got 7 rings. Does that mean that he was a better basketball player? Like we just talking than Chris Webber? Any of them power forwards that we were just talking about, Robert
Mm-hmm.
Ory ain't half as good as any of them.
I
I
say
think.
he don't
I
sit at
think.
the,
I
he don't
think.
sit at the same table with Dominique Wilkins.
No, but
Don't.
I think when it comes to the Bron or Jordan thing, it's all about your preference. If you got a certain preference in basketball, a certain way you view the game, a certain way you like a player to play, that's who you go rock with. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends how niggas view the game, what's their preference in the player, and I think that's the thing that niggas are struggling to decipher from. When it comes to Bron, when it comes to Jordan, because they great in their own right and they did it in their own way. That's why they're comparable because they did it in their own way. They did it in a
What?
way that
White
nobody
chocolate's
else
better than Mike
has
Bibby?
done. Who?
What?
Hey,
What?
You said what?
that's an opinion. See, look, that's
No, he wasn't.
look.
No,
See,
he
that's an
wasn't.
opinion. That's an
No, he was.
opinion.
No, it's not.
Uh,
It's not an opinion. That's just
it's an
straight up
opinion.
nonsense.
Hold on one second,
No,
man.
I watched Mike Bibby cook Derek Fisher in 2002. Like it was like
it's not a
nothing.
debate.
It was
It's that
nothing.
I'm
So
sick
And
of
upset with
talking to the
the
LeBron,
opinion.
Lakers
man.
didn't have an
God
answer for
damn it.
Chris Webber or Mike Bibby. You know what I'm saying? And I think Peja Stojakovic got hurt. You know what I'm saying? Because that we looking at a whole different. We having a whole different conversation for
Like
2000
you
if
guys,
if Peja ain't hurt. I
what are
mean, like,
these? What are these hot
Yeah,
takes? What
they
chocolate
had
is not better than Mike Bibby?
nah, because
nah, he's not.
Kobe had to start guarding Mike Bibby. That's how bad it was for
Yeah,
Fisher.
it was getting bad. It was bad. He couldn't miss. And then they had Bobby Jackson coming off the bench.
Mike Bibby's Desmond Bain today.
I think Bain a better defender and a better shooter.
I know, but it's being good players. Uh, not being like the superstars or the all stars, but like being good, like a step above a role player and then below an all star level player.
Yeah, like you mean like Michael Conley Jr. in his
Yeah,
heyday.
yeah, Luau Deng, those players.
Yeah, I mean, but like you said, and the as far as the legacy part goes, you know what I'm saying? Like we talking we having a whole different conversations. We, like I was saying the other day, from 2000 till now, a lot of our best talent in the NBA has been hurt, and injuries. Injuries are going to have an effect on the entire league. You know what I'm saying? And it could go on for decades. You know what I'm saying?
If
Like,
Karl Malone
look at
didn't get hurt, Shaq and Kobe probably went out and broke up, man. And Karl Malone didn't
but
get hurt.
also look at Portland. Portland was set up for the future by the time they had LaMarcus Aldridge, Greg Oden, and Brandon
See,
Roy.
they was five. They was like 3 deep in power forward. Could have had Shee, Zebo, and Jermaine O'Neal. They was that
Yeah,
deep. Portland was that deep. So I mean,
yeah,
Portland had a lot of talent, man.
they had a lot, but that was the thing too. They had too many bigs. They had too many bigs. They had, I mean, who was their backup point guard?
They didn't have one.
Yeah, Stoudemire was their only point guard.
And they'll play Scotty at the point sometimes.
Yeah, they had Derek Anderson, Bonzi Wells. I mean, they had guys that they had skill. They had a lot of skilled players though, like Steve Smith. You know, Douglas Smith. You know, you want to make them primarily your primary ball handlers, but they could, you know. And then when you spoke of Hito, I was like, yo, damn, Hito. The Hito in Orlando was not the Hito in Sacramento. That Hito in Orlando was something different. Man, what's up with this joint? What's up with Roshi acting up? How he got a show and he ain't even on the panel? What type of show is this guy running? What the hell? Yo, did Ro just bounce?
I don't know. Maybe he's getting mixed up with them. That'll be much appreciated.
Ro just bounce?
I don't know.
All right, we trail by 4. They're showing some heavy pressure here. And they bring it. Nice. He snags it. Troy.
Yeah,
Yo,
yo,
Ro,
thank
man, you
for
good? You
yeah,
good, man?
yo, word of advice, never start a stream on your phone when you below 10%. Now
Yeah,
my
bro.
phone was
Yeah.
kind of overheat. My phone was kind of overheating. I'm still on one. It says it's fast charging, man. But yeah, man, my bad. No, here's the thing. Y'all, yeah, man, I'm struggling streaming over here a little bit. Never started stream. You know, I fucking just got in and my phone was down underneath 10%, and then it was like negative charging and shit. So I think I'm good now. I think who I see I'm on 2. But you know, yeah, thanks for holding it down. I know I dropped off when y'all were talking about Joel Embiid, and you know, look, I know we get sensitive to the criticism of those that we're watching. I take Embiid to task because if the narrative, yeah, I'm on 2%, so I'm going the right way. So if the narrative is the Embiid, if he's healthy, we would have did this, or we would have got to the conference finals. My thing is, why go to the Olympics if you know that you're nursing that bad knee? Or even if you could go to the Olympics, why are you playing a major role? Because they should have been able to win without you. Whatever.
But who do
At
you
the
get
end
to
of the
replace
day,
him?
huh?
Who replaces
Well,
that size and skill?
well, we don't got no other big men that could see what I mean?
That's the so I mean, so
See?
it's like you kind of needed him, like probably like the best big man from America. We had them all. We had Bam, we had AD. Who else we gonna pick?
You got Bam and AD. I mean, you know, MB could have just played but you over there dancing and shit, and it's like, okay,
Yo, bro,
now them
niggas
Philly
in
boys,
Paris, man. Niggas in Paris. You know what I'm saying?
okay,
Like we in Paris. We going, yeah.
But
It's raining out here and shit.
you think them Philly Bulls, them diehard Sixers fans is trying to hear all that? When you come in the next year
You
and
think
if you play 20-some
if you're a
games,
Knicks fan, by heart, the last thing you should be caring about is what the Sixers fans think.
oh, I could give a fuck. I'm talking shit to them because y'all gonna
Yeah,
keep
go
telling
party.
me
Yeah, like go
about
party.
Embiid.
Yeah, go party. As long as
Y'all
you.
keep telling me about Embiid. Yeah, I was laughing. I said, they
He
was
did
so,
all the
oh,
time.
y'all mad because ain't no Knicks. I was glad ain't none of my Knicks. Not even Karl Anthony Towns had it. They have another one that could have been, well, he could have played for Dominican Republic. He told not to, too. So
And
I'm
B
glad none of my Knicks had nothing to do with that Olympics because I'm focused on the championship. Here's my thing. And B, your own legacy. You got the gold medal now. Cool. You got the gold medal now. Cool. But if you don't get to a conference finals at your level of play, what table you sitting at?
he's
Come,
top
come,
50.
huh?
He's at least top 50.
Is he? He's been in the league now 11 years, bro. He's played less than 500 games.
There's not 50 basketball players that's better than him all time.
That's 50 I take, but you're not playing 500 games. I'm just saying. And again, you never got to a conference finals. I can understand Dominique. Dominique would have been on the dream team if he didn't rupture his Achilles. He should have been on the dream team. But that's the year he ruptured his Achilles. See, look. End of the day, we can have Philip Fry. He said, top 50. I agree.
Yes,
Until he gets, it's like you got to do your homework before you can go outside, man. You gotta leave them for the process is you. You would have, mind you, when the guys came out with Wiggins, everybody was talking about Wiggins was gonna be the next big thing.
deserves respect.
What the fuck y'all see at Wiggins? Embiid is gonna be that guy. And I thought he was gonna be a damn definite all-timer.
It's
But
Pete
bro,
Joel Embiid.
say again.
Is Pete Maravich better than Joel Embiid?
As a in the NBA,
As a career, their Embiid's career
In
versus
college, perhaps.
Pete's.
Maybe in college.
Pete Maravich was a bad motherfucker. And he's another one that had a lot of injury problems. Played on bad teams.
I'm just talking about his players. Don't correct their
See,
team's
see what I'm
executives.
saying? A lot of people will
Yes.
take Pistol Pete. Pistol Pete was a bad
No.
motherfucker. I'm
No.
gonna go look at the stats again, but I know what I saw from Pistol Pete.
He was more exciting Carmelo Anthony.
Okay, if I think the talent is, here's my thing when it comes down to it. And this is why you might not like him, but this is why I definitely got Magic and Bird. Hold on. But this is why I got Magic and Bird above LeBron. If I think the talent and accolades are somewhat equal, and again, I know that LeBron has the longevity accolades, but Magic and Bird were those guys. They were 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5 for their whole career. Bird fell off a little bit with the bat. Magic was that guy. Magic retired second in MVP voting. If he didn't catch the virus, we know, and we knew more about the virus. We knew he could have kept playing. I don't think he would have fell off for at least to the mid to late 90s. I think he would still been an MVP level player that whole time because what he did.
I don't think so because around the mid '90s, that's when more skilled guards started coming in the NBA,
Well,
and Magic
any
wasn't good on the defensive end to deal with the guards of his era. So when
yes.
he's out there dealing with them real ball handlers, like them guys that, or he might be able to match up with Grant Hill because of his side, but his footwork, his defensive
Not good.
footwork will not keep him in front of Grant Hill. That his leaping ability won't keep him from turning Magic into Alonzo Mourning. She was Grant Hill did the Zoe, and he's one of the greatest defenders in NBA history. So and that's what I'll be talking about. Like when y'all want to take players from different eras and put them in different eras, you got to look at the competition that they're going against. Like if somebody want to go get Bird to try to match up with KD, I'm taking that. I'm taking KD on both sides of the ball because
But let me
Bird
ask
is
you something. Magic Okay, name the team that had a 1, 2, and 3 where Magic could, because even if the 1, 2, and 3 were all too quick for Magic to guard, you could put Magic on a 4 and find a line like that.
But
What Magic brought as an offensive player, Magic was a
LeBron's a
master key. What happened?
LeBron's a better offensive player than him, though.
Facts.
See, you're very, very arguable. Here's the thing. If
Just as
that's the
good as
case,
just
hold
listen.
on. If that's the case, why has LeBron played on 5 teams under 500? Well, Magic, again, this is
No, he
what I'm going to
did.
look at.
No, he didn't.
Magic's worst team
LeBron
was
played
50.
for 3 losing teams.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
2004, 2020, it was
Uh-huh.
2020, 2019 because he went out with the groin injury. 2020 and 2023.
So, but he's playing on 5 non-playoff teams. The guy, you're right. He had the rookie year he was under 500. The second year
They was over 500.
42 and 40, but that missed the playoffs. That's similar to Shaq missing the playoffs at 41 and 41 as a rookie. As I'm saying though, Magic, let's go to levels. Magic never played on a team worse than 54 wins. And that's when he missed half the season in his second year with his own knee injury.
But when you got Kareem and other capable guys on the court that can hold it down, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but my
point
with Magic is he raises team's level. You can say he's a better offensive player. I think arguably Magic is the best offensive weapon of all time, and I include that over Jordan. I'm included over Jordan. See, okay, the point that I really made is that I don't think there would have been that big of a fall off with Magic because offensively, the way he saw the floor, when they say he made everybody better, there was no cap. There's a lot of people they say makes everybody better, and there's literally cap. I think Magic could have played with a slasher. Magic could have played with a leaper. He could have played with a 3-point shooter. He did play with another ball dominant point guard like he did with Norm Nixon. Both them niggas averaged 9 assists a game or 8 assists a game on the same team. Both of them. You see what I'm saying? So again, look, we can come up with a million barbershop conversations on who was better. That's the beauty of this GOAT debate, which again, I think is overdone. Like I talk about teams. I talk about team debates. Which team would have played? Who would have won a 7-game series and teams in different eras and shit like that? Mix the styles, mix the way they play. Again, ChatGPT, you can put that in there. 2001 Lakers versus the fucking 96 Bulls. You can put that in ChatGPT and see what they think. Set up your parameters. Make sure they know who's the coach. Make sure that they know that Phil Jackson coached both teams. Only you got Phil Jackson of 01, 5 years older and 5 years smarter, I guess. You understand what I'm saying? Those are the type of debates I like to have. But when it comes down to it, these players, what the players do in there, again, I'm going to look at it this way. When it comes to Ewing, right, Ewing gets shitted on a lot. And I just did a debate with Dart about Ewing. Ewing never played for the Hall of Famer, bro, other than Maurice Cheeks. And they should have kept Rod Strickland. That's my opinion. That's what I'm on. Yeah, ChatGPT ain't gonna say. It's just a fun tool to use, just see what they say, because you could really have a debate on your own, right? And you could just, but that's the type of stuff I'm on. I always want to know who's the top 10 individual teams of all time. What's the best dynasties of all time? How do you build dynasties? Well, stuff like that, man.
Speaking of dynasties, can we go to what LeBron said
About what? What did he say?
about this whole super team thing?
Okay, we could talk about the super team. I want you to understand the difference between a super team and a super team. Did you catch what I just said?
No.
There's a difference between a super team and a super team. You understand what I'm saying?
Nope.
Okay, so a super team, like the ones that LeBron was on, and let's talk about the Brooklyn Nets and the Los Angeles Clippers to a point. There are teams that are put when multiple superstars pick a destination and find their way there, right? Boston Celtics, you want to tell me that the 08 Boston Celtics were a super team? Okay, maybe. Here's the problem. That was Paul Pierce's team. Two superstars were traded there. They work seamlessly. Okay, if you want to say that that's a super team technically, then that's a super team. A super team like the saying that Magic Magic was drafted to the team. Nixon was drafted. Nixon wound up, I don't know how Nixon was there already. Coop was there. These guys, Worthy, Scott, they were drafted. Now, they were drafted because Lakers management kept getting people's top picks like that. They traded Norm Nixon for Byron Scott.
So they
So
was
all
finessing.
those,
So they was
they were
finessing
finessing, yeah.
They were
Same
finessing to
with the
build
Celtics.
super teams.
Well, they were finessing, but the players were drafted. They're like, okay, Robin Parrish was traded from Golden State for that first pick, right? The Celtics finessed the team to get the first pick, traded the first pick down to get both Parrish and McHale for Joe Barry Carroll, right? Now, all those guys pretty much what like Bird and McHale were drafted to that team, so they all kind of developed together. You can't call it a super team just because one management was good enough
It
to
is a
just
super team. It's the same
think.
thing.
Yeah,
But
bro. They
let me
went
tell you,
to
let me tell you the difference though. Those teams can
Magic went
become
to
dynasties,
non-finals.
but
You
those
What?
don't
teams
think
can
that's a
become
super team?
dynasties. I want you to understand though. Here's the difference. Those teams can become dynasties because they played multiple years developing together into a system. Right? These super teams are like these express, like Brooklyn Nets. And Brooklyn Nets should have worked better than they did, but they went there and hired a coach with no goddamn experience, so nobody would hold them accountable.
Talking about the players. A super team is a super team.
No, you still not seeing what I'm saying. You're not
No.
seeing the fact that these guys they got developed into a system together. Like Bird didn't
I
play
know.
for nobody else before coming in. You know what I'm saying? He
I
didn't
know.
play for like that Boston system was in place, and they all came and developed and got together. So at the end of the day, they had the success that they had.
But
Super
Boston
team.
didn't draft
Super
Parrish.
team. Whether it
They
was put
didn't draft
They
Paris,
didn't
but they
draft. They
traded
didn't
Paris
draft.
on the.
They didn't draft Bill Walton.
Bill Walton came there as a free agent later in his career.
they didn't draft Dennis Johnson.
Again, it's free agent. But these are
You saying
incremental.
like,
What you mentioned? These are incremental ads. Again, they
well,
turned. Connie Archibald was the point guard early in Bird's career, right?
I think so.
So it's like you just basically see. There's a reason why Golden State worked the way it works. See, Golden State, I can't call that a super team when three of the main players were drafted there.
With KD.
Here's the thing with KD. You want to know the difference between KD? Golden State just put them into a slot. They didn't have to lose anybody. They didn't have to. Nobody had to. I mean, the fact that they were on team-friendly contracts already. So when it just so happened in 2016, when the TV money put the cap from 54 to 70, whatever, KD's free agent salary fit right in like a glove. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yes.
like. And then his game worked out with what they were doing. So it was really easy. They had the system, the coach, everything in place to just play. And you want to call it a super team? Okay, I guess. But it's a lot different than three guys picking a destination and trying to mesh their game together on the fly.
Who cares if three guys?
Yeah, who care? I don't care how it gets done.
I don't care how it's formed.
I care about the
I get
results.
you.
But
So
the
then
results
this is my thing. But this is my thing then. Then you gotta own. That's what I'm saying with KD and his legacy. Then you gotta own it because look, thank God they did it in Brooklyn because you know, Juan boy, nobody give a fuck about the Nets in New York. Nobody give a fuck about the Nets in New York, bro. Trust me, I never forget 2014 when they had Kevin Garnett and all of them, and it was that night I was sitting there right downtown Brooklyn. I'm like, I remember when it was a big playoff game with the Knicks. Man, you could just feel the shit in the air. I'm right downtown Brooklyn, down the street from the fucking Barclays. Nobody like the Brooklyn ain't got no vibe in New York. So when they come to New York, and they win one playoff series and they get swept by the Celtics in another year, nobody like it's nothing. Nobody cares.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
but
was
So
they,
a
they were still using like
super team.
management from the New Jersey Nets. Like they're still like a baby franchise. You know what I'm saying? They don't have that front office like the Lakers had, like Boston had. Boston and LA have been able to do things right from the front office, from the coaching to the players. And that's how they were able to build to where they don't let they key players go. That's where you get the bird rights coming from. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but
I'm
I
pretty
mean,
sure you got plenty of teams in the 80s that was like, damn, man, I wish I could go to another team because we can't get past Boston or LA. Boston and LA had the best players in the league. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like anybody else gets a fair chance. Now everybody talk about, oh, we don't see no dynasties and none of that stuff. That's because the talent pool has been spread out for over the
well,
last 10 years now.
the CBA has helped that as well with making it hard to build teams with max players. You can't. It's hard to keep a team together if you're going to use these super max contracts now. You see, these niggas are signing $75 million a year deal. The cap is still right now at 150 something. The TV money from the NBC is going to kick in. I think it's going to take a couple of years to kick in, where it will reflect on the cap, and then that's when the cap will go up to about 200 million. But by then, you still signing these cats. Like OKC is going to be a tax-paying. This is okay. What OKC did, and I did a show on OKC. I was talking about OKC, and 2 days later they signed their three big boys. They signed they big three. Well, this time they paid for their big three. Last time they picked two. Actually, they picked two out of three. No, they picked three out of four. They decided they was going to pay for Ibaka, and they wasn't going to pay for Harden. So they paid for it back then because they didn't get shit for Harden. You remember they got what? What would they get? Fucking what's the name? Jones. I
Terry
forget
Jones
Perry Jones. That was the best
from
player they
Baylor.
got. Yeah, they ain't get
But
shit.
they dropped the ball in a couple draft picks with Embiid, with the B. The only draft picks they really hit on probably that was helpful was Reggie Jackson and Steven Adams.
Yeah,
After the beat.
Well, I gotta
but
go. See you
yeah.
guys.
All right, boys. Salute, man. Salute. But yeah, I mean, look. This time, and see, that's what I'm saying. But now they see, this is the thing. The revenue sharing situation is going to change. So now the revenue sharing, as the way it was, like say the Lakers sell all these LeBron jerseys. Now even the jerseys and memorabilia sales and all that other shit is going to go into the pot, and everybody going to get equal fucking shit. That's like the NFL. That's just like the NFL and college work. Every team gets whatever, well, college is a little different. I'm doing college football, where, they split the revenue from the TV rights and all. That's why the SEC is so dominant, because they could get more money and all. Now the NIL turns all that shit. But now they trying to split the money all down the middle. And now OKC is not scared to be taxpayers this go round, especially considering they won the chip. So they like, and that's the thing. If you win a chip, you make these long playoff runs. Y'all got to remember, this is when the owners make their money. When it's a long playoff run, you get extra gates. You charge premium prices for the seats and all that. Plus your brand gets promoted. You get, you know what I mean? So all of that, and then the players, they get an equal share. Like superstars, they get paid for the playoff the way they get paid in the regular season. So at the end of the day, OKC now, that model is working. It's working because they got to the finals and won. And they're gonna try to do it again. You gotta make these long playoff runs for the profit, for at least the cash profit, because it's all the money, all the valuation of the team is based on, as Lamont was talking about, it's based on, and everybody else is talking about too. They're not the only one, but it's based on the fact that, okay, the money, I mean the naming rights and all that shit. And then the valuation, they basically living off of debt. They're not living off of cash money. That's what the Lakers were. They were borrowing against the value of their franchise, and eventually, you got to start paying them back with the interest. But at the end of the day, when your team has success, it helps you pay off because of the profits you get making off the playoff games. But yeah, so that makes it hard to keep teams together when these salaries is going up crazy. But that's the business model. The more the money comes in, the more revenue comes in, because it's a 50, 54, 46 split. And that's where you get the salary cap from. And in the salary cap, the max contract is based on a percentage of the salary cap. So players are going to take the money. Remember when everybody was shaming cats like Melo and them for taking money? Come on, man. Shout out to Carsino because he had a stream saying that 2/3 of NBA players are broke or living or in debt, not broke, but in debt. And that's the way it goes because you see that contract $75 million. Well, they only seeing 45% of that after taxes and fees and all that other shit. So, bro, get your money, man. I mean, fuck all this trying to win rings, bro. Especially now, we got a league of parity. Everybody got a chance. Well, not everybody, but a lot of more teams got a chance than 10 years ago. You know, so
yeah, because the Clippers weren't reloaded and shit.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, it's hard.
The West them got tougher.
Yeah, the West, like I said, the West is going to be real tough. Somebody not making the playoffs. Somebody not making the playoffs is supposed to make the playoffs.
East is a bit more wide open with the injuries to Halliburton and Tatum.
Yeah. As I said before free agency started, I thought and I said, let's see. So I did a lot. I did a video before free agency. I said about 14 teams. They got a good chance to be contenders. Now I think there's 10. I think there's 10 contenders. I think there's 4 in the East, and I think there's 6, maybe 7 in the West. And I'm telling you, bro, some of these teams you're not even thinking about might come in dark horse. Everybody like Atlanta. I don't like Atlanta. As long as Trae Young as they start again, that's another personal take.
There's just you talking as a Knicks fan. You know what he be doing to y'all.
I'm telling you, Trae Young is a loser, bro. Trae Young is a loser. Y'all love Trae Young for that conference finals run. Let me ask you, what has he done since then?
I mean, what's the name? I mean, they got all the bogeys gone. Who could the team that he had? It's all gone. John Collins.
I got you. He ran everybody out of town. I know what happened.
Shit, Capella going there. He got a whole new team. He got a, but you know what I'm saying? Like Dyson Daniels, that's a good pickup.
But wait a minute, Capella just left.
I know that's what I said. Yeah, Capella's going.
No, I get it, but everybody like Atlanta. When you heard it here first, Atlanta ain't gonna do shit.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, Jalen Johnson, he's still coming into his own.
I like Jalen Johnson. Now, if Jalen Johnson takes a step up and they make him the star, just make Young the facilitator. But if Jalen Johnson is out there putting up Paolo numbers, all right, Atlanta might be something. You ain't getting shit out of Porzingis. You ain't getting shit out of Porzingis.
He's not gonna put up Paolo numbers. Like Paolo is way more skilled than Jalen.
See what I'm saying? But then that's what
Johnson got the athletic part. But Paolo, they came into the league around the same time, maybe a year apart from each other.
Well, because Jalen Johnson went to Duke, and Duke
they both went to Duke.
Duke kicked him off the team, but he went there, I think, a year before Paolo, a year or two before Paolo. I should know this, being a Duke fan, but yeah, they kicked him off the team like something happened the way he was down there. But and look, he's doing his thing. He was the man. He definitely was the man. But unless he makes a step up, I don't see Atlanta. Atlanta's a little overrated to me. Philly.
Yeah, Philly might be the most scary if everybody's healthy, because they got this new kid, that Springer kid, and who's that other kid they just picked up in the draft?
What's it? Edgecombe, yeah. Edgecombe.
Yeah, man, this kid looks good.
He got a lot of talent. He got a lot of talent, but I believe it when I see it. I believe Embiid can get through a season when I see it. If he played 60 games, they need to play 60 games. They will be a team to be reckoned with. But I'm just not. It's like believing in Santa Claus, man. Embiid is always something with him, bro. It's always something.
I mean, there's always something. There's always something in Orlando too. Like every time one of the pieces that they need get hurt, come back, somebody else they need gets hurt. Look, they get Jonathan Isaac back. Then what's name gets hurt. Paolo gets hurt. Paolo
Paolo
comes
gets
back.
hurt, and Sutton and
Jalen Suggs gets hurt.
Jalen Suggs is a big
Jalen
key.
Suggs comes back. Wendell Carter gets hurt.
But
You know,
they got a big pickup in Bane. I like Bane. Bane is
they needed perimeter shooting. They needed shooting.
Yeah, Bane
That is the only thing that they don't have. They got everything else but perimeter shooting. They can play defense. They got size. They got skill. They size comes with a lot of skill.
Well, they addressed it with Canova. They addressed it with Canova and Bane.
Yeah, but Mo Wagner Franz Wagner, he got to step up and be that Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, 2, 3. You got to be the second, third best player on this team for Orlando to go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And losing Cole Anthony, you lose a playmaker. Anthony Black gonna have to step up. Because playmaking ain't really Jalen Suggs' thing. His thing is defense, but I don't know. He's still growing into his game. And like I said, man, these injuries to these teams, that's going to open up for teams like, I don't know if Toronto really going to do too much, but who knows? But Philly, definitely. Cleveland, maybe Boston, but maybe the Knicks more than Boston. But I think one of the real threats coming out the East, if I go by division, who see they got? The Southwest, I mean, or outside of Orlando, I don't see Washington doing nothing. I don't see Atlanta really making no noise.
Two sleeper teams I got. A lot of shit got to break right for them. The Bulls and Toronto. Now, a lot of shit got to break right for them, but I do believe they got young talent. They can step up into a next level. I think R.J. Barrett is underrated. I think Scotty Barnes is that dude. I think Emmanuel Quickly, if he's healthy.
He didn't play all. I didn't see him dressed up all last year.
Yeah, he fucked his hip up on opening night. I was expecting big shit out of him, and he fucked his hip up on opening night, and it was just a rash of injuries. But
Knicks
Quickly,
messed up. Not
you gotta remember Quickly.
Knicks should have made room for him. I'm taking Give me Quickly over Cameron Payne.
Oh, I know that, but the problem is the Knicks would have had to pay him, man. Yeah, we would definitely be in the second apron and all that shit. But yeah, we traded him for OG and Precious, and so. But Quickly's that dude. Remember, he went to school with Maxey. They was both in that backcourt.
Yeah, they was in that Kentucky backcourt.
So now they Maxey is that guy, probably better than him, but I think Quickly's a better point guard than him, to be honest. I think Max is a better player, but I think Quickly's a better point guard. It's two different conversations. I think Quickly can run an offense a little bit better, which is surprising because I thought Quickly was just a sixth man. Like I thought he was like a fucking Vinny Microwave or a fucking Lou Williams type, but nah, Quickly can be a starting point guard.
He can start for any team. I mean, he only came off the bench with the Knicks because he was playing behind Brunson.
Hey, I see Dart is in here, man. Well, I do want to do the AD the what's name discussion, but because I know I was talking shit in the comments about your capping, about some of the things you capped about in the debate, but you won that because you framed a better argument than I did. You know what I mean? So, but I still think you need to put some respect on Ewan's name because that 58, man. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna see because I'm still struggle streaming, man. My phone is still fucking up. I hate that, man. But
I'm not taking Ewan over AD. I mean, yeah, I'm not taking Ewan over AD.
Here's my thing. His facts for Ewing. His facts to go in Ewing's way. Ewing, first of all, Ewing is 10-3 in first rounds. AD is 3-3 in first rounds. And this is 6 years playing with LeBron. 5 years playing with LeBron. And he's only 2-2 in the first round playing with LeBron. Ewing was the top 5. See, again, people will say, "Oh, I don't believe in top 5 MVP. You either win the MVP or you don't." I mean, come on, man. Being an MVP candidate, y'all. It's funny y'all say that about Pippen when he was top 3 that one time, which he was one time in his career. But when I say Kobe was top 5 with Shaq 3 times, that don't matter. He was top 5 with Shaq 3 times, and I think with Gasol and them, he was top 5 another 3 or 4 times. So the one MVP, see what I'm saying, to have the one MVP, well, Kobe was an MVP candidate, a big part of his career. So was Ewing. Ewing was top 5 MVP 6 times in 7 years. And then after that, okay, he started falling off physically. They started, bringing in Spree, running more shots to Spree, Houston, and then eventually Spree when Ewing was an old dude. But then Ewing was still like the captain, still the man. So I'm just saying, AD, again, I'm gonna hold it against him. What happened in New Orleans? You want to tell me New Orleans was a bad friendship? Okay, well then it wasn't exactly sparkling there in LA. You only got out the first round twice.
Yeah, but
See,
you
you
also
got
got
the first round 3 times. You went got out the first round 10 times, and got to 2 finals, 4 conference finals.
Yeah, but New Orleans didn't turn around until Boogie got there. When he got there, they played at a whole different
and eventually, unfortunately, Boogie got hurt. I get it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Rap God made a point. Freewell was the star player Ewing needed. Problem is, Ewing needed him 3-4 years earlier. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get him till he choked out PJ Carlissimo. Ewing always got the guy too late. And you got to game 7 of the finals with Starks. Shout out to Starks. We love him in New York. He's a warrior. But he just wasn't as good as some of the other guys. Ewing never had a Hall of Famer, bro. Name me the next all-time player. Other than another one I think is underrated, Dominique Wilkins, who never had another Hall of Fame player play with him in their prime. Yeah, Ewing played with Gary Payton when he's fucking got post Achilles, 38 years old. But I'm talking about in his prime, he never played with another Hall of Famer. That's unfair because some guys always had Hall of Famers. So I don't like to play the whole, he had so-and-so, but you do gotta give some. Again, I became a big Knicks, I became a diehard Knicks fan when I saw Ewing beat the Celtics by himself. Technically with Johnny Newman and Charles Oakley and Gerald Wilkins. He beat they still had DJ, they still had McHale and Parrish, and they had Bird. And Ewing beat them, came back from 2-0 down, had a triple-double in one game, hit that corner 3. Ewing was a monster, man. I'm just saying, man. Ewing gets a lot of people call him overrated. Like, how is he overrated? They putting guys that don't even belong in the class with Ewing above Ewing. But I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck that Steve Nash won an MVP. Steve Nash won 2 MVPs as a system player. Steve Nash was a backup for the first 3 or 4 years of his career. Ewing was the rookie.
He got drafted to Phoenix. He playing behind who? He playing was Jason Kidd in Phoenix when he got there?
I got you.
No, he was playing behind Kevin Johnson.
Yeah, I got you. But what did Steve Nash do without D'Antoni as his coach? He was an average player.
He was winning 50. He was winning 50 games a season with Don Nelson in Dallas.
Yeah, I know, but was he the man like that? I'm just saying.
He had Dirk and Michael Finley. He was the point guard.
So let me ask you this: you going to draft Steve Nash over Patrick Ewing to start your team?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Good luck with that.
Because I'm
gonna find a point guard better than Nash, and I'm gonna destroy you.
Listen, you be hard to find a point guard that's going to give you everything that Nash is going to give you. Nash is going to give you top facilitation. He's going to give you elite ball handling with either hand. He can finish in traffic with either hand, pass with either hand. He's going to run your offense. He's going to put your team in good positions to get easy shots and give him the game ball at the end of the game. Because if you foul him, he's 90% from the line. You back up off him, he's shooting 40 from deep. You foul, he shot when he won. And that's the thing about this MVP case. I know everybody will say, "Oh, Kobe or Shaq should have won the Phoenix." That's why I was telling you that one day.
I actually agree. He didn't rob Kobe. He didn't rob Kobe or LeBron. People say he robbed LeBron. Because he's the main factor of a team that won a lot of regular season games. It wasn't
Yeah, and not
expected to
only
go up.
that,
Yeah.
they went from 29 wins to 62 wins.
Yes, y'all gotta understand the MVP is the narrative award. But welcome to Dar, welcome, bro. What's going on?
Not much. I'm driving home. A tsunami is about to hit my island in a couple hours.
Oh
So
shit,
that's fun.
man. Pray.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm not on the coast, so I should be fine. My wife and
you're
kids
high,
are
you're high
driving
enough
home.
ground.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
man. Get home fast, bro, and and I know get to high ground. You know what I'm saying? I'm at my mom's crib, man. My mom lives in Far Rockaway during was it hurricane? What's that hurricane that hit in 2012? Forget the fucking name. Sandy, yeah. So she lived out in the Rockaway. Thank God that she was up on the third floor of the townhouse because the fucking water came all the way up to like 9, 10. And she was like deep. Like you would come in her crib and you would go straight up steep steps, but it came all the way up to like the last 3 steps. You understand what I'm saying? The car washed away, man. Sandy was a motherfucker, bro. And so prayers to your island, man. I hope everybody evacuate, get where they need to go. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there's real shit happening in the world. We saw what happened in New York with that shooter. I was asking Zay, because Zay's in Vegas, and he know old dude. And he was like, nah, I don't know that dude. But yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I have a good view of the airport, so I'm gonna watch it when it comes in and see how crazy it is. It's kind of a once in a lifetime experience. So I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you get video or whatever. I don't know, 'cause it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a lot of disaster. But it is. Especially considering what happened to our man, Theo, Michael Jamal Warner. Just to educate yourself, because I was watching a video about rip currents, man. Like there's certain, I love the water, I love the ocean and the beach and shit. But that shit is scary, and there's certain things that I will not water certain waters because that rip current, and I see what a rip current look like, and then understand if you're in a rip current, don't panic. Try to swim yourself swim out of the current and all that. But that's a scary thing, and that nature is a scary fucking thing, bro. So, yeah, I hope, but I hope everything is all right. But you want to talk about hoops? that's a
Yeah. So what was I capping about AD and Patrick Ewing?
Okay, so I have four issues. And mind you, this is post debate shit. When I watch back, like you said, you would play with terrific players. Like you didn't name one of them. Again, he played with good players. Terrific. I mean, again, it depends on what do you think terrific is. What do you think adequate help is? Again, you wouldn't have had a great team, and that's what I tried to illustrate. I tried to illustrate that the Knicks were the defensive team of the 90s, and Ewing was the center of that defense. Now, you said 80 was a playoff riser, which was true. And you also said 80 was has better numbers. This is the issue because we debated better versus greater. The fact that we debated play better versus greater, right? But you use the career numbers knowing that 80 is still in his prime, and he only has about 4 seasons where his post-prime numbers brought his overall numbers down. This is why I brought up the 7 prime years, because if we're going to debate better, and we really should debate peak versus peak, considering 80 has not gone down the mountain yet. You understand what I'm saying? 80 hasn't gone down the mountain because he's still in his prime.
Isn't that pretty much a testament to how great he is, though?
But no,
because
he's still 31. He's only 31. Like if you look at
I went in dead space, but I can't hear you guys. I think I should be out of it by now.
Okay, I was saying that if you're going to debate a player that's still in his prime playing, like it'd be like this. If you debated, how could you fairly debate Pippen versus Kawhi? Kawhi is still 31, 32? He's still technically in his prime. And we know that Pippen had some post prime years with the back where he's hanging on being a team leader and role player in places like Portland for those years, and then eventually coming back to the Bulls, where they bring down his overall numbers, where his overall numbers is 16, 6, and 5. Where if you put Kawhi's numbers, being that he's had mostly prime years and he hasn't had the fall down the mountain years yet, it's like, you understand what I'm saying? So that's why I try to say, if you're gonna debate a player that's playing versus a player that, you got to look at the prime years only, because we don't have post prime years with Kawhi yet. So it's almost a similar thing. But that's cool. I mean, again, as I illustrated, Ewing's prime numbers, 7-year prime, was on par with all these all-time big men who are like first ballot Hall of Famers, and again, generally put ahead of him. Now, again, I get most of those guys got rings and multiple rings, but that still takes into account, because one thing I look at the player first. I take the player first. Obviously certain teams, certain guys go to better organizations. As Juan Boy been saying, New Orleans, and that's fair, New Orleans was a bad organization. But being a bad organization, they still only had one winning year in his first 6 years there, 2 playoff years. One year out of the first round. Again, they did win in the sweep, but then they lost to Golden State twice, that young Golden State upcoming team, but they were 1-8 against Golden State. Ewing played against the Bad Boy Pistons. They lost, but he eventually beat the Bad Boy Pistons. His first playoff series against the Celtics, they lost. The next time he beat the Celtics, again, then he had, again, as I said, and I looked at the matchups that AD had. AD played against Al Farouk Aminu, which was his teammate one of the years. I mean, like, if he's a power forward and the other power forward is Al Farouk Aminu, of course he better dominate Al Farouk Aminu. He better dominate Draymond Green and the small Warriors.
I think he was playing center with Boogie was out. I think they playoff starting 5 was
he was
Rondo, Drew Holiday. Yeah. I think maybe Darius Miller. AD,
look at that. Look at that. But look at that, though.
Miritich was starting.
But Juan Boy, he had Rondo and Drew Holiday at one point. Then he also had Tyreke Evans, when Tyreke Evans was still a 25-5 player, or 18-5-5. When you look at it, they had considerable talent. I'm just saying. The Boogie season.
They ran into a prime Golden State twice. The second time
they were 1-8 though. I get that. They could have they been competitive. Again, Ewing was competitive against the Bad Boy. He was competitive, and he wound up beating the Bad Boys in '92. He was competitive.
Right, but you got to think, like Golden State, like they main core, like Steph got there in 2009, Clay got there in 2011. They made the playoffs by 2013. When I think Draymond got drafted in 2012, they made the playoffs in 2013. They didn't have the pieces.
Hey, bro.
And they had, matter of fact, in 2012, they drafted Harrison Barnes.
Hey, bro. Yeah. So I'm on the road. When I get home, I got to go. So do you want me to respond to some of this stuff?
Yeah, if you can.
Okay. So I feel like you're trying to have it both ways with the results by saying that Patrick Ewing didn't have enough help. And then you didn't mention it here specifically, but you mentioned it earlier about people having championships or not. But then you start talking about the playoff success in comparison to AD. But you were also saying that Patrick Ewing didn't have a good enough team. But then you're saying AD, even though he didn't have a good enough team in that same line of logic, that it affects him. So I feel like that's a double standard. 2, if you want to talk about the stats, you're talking about the tail end of the career of Patrick Ewing. If you go and you want to remove the stats, I think that AD is quicker. I think that he's got a better first step off the dribble. I think he's more capable face up. I think that his post moves are comparable.
Handler. He's a better ball handler.
Yeah, I think he's a better ball handler. He was a point guard when he was in high school. Yeah, I think he's probably a better passer too. I think, and I'm not saying heads up between the two, but I think that Patrick Ewing probably could defend bigger guys better in the low block than
Uh-huh.
AD.
Uh-huh.
Now you talked about the
Yeah,
block numbers again, just to show a double standard. So if you want to talk about how he had all these blocks in the 90s, there's a lot more plays at the basket in comparison to the modern NBA. So having 3 blocks a game to near 4 blocks a game for like the highs of their careers, it's about situation and circumstance. So I use the stats to exemplify that he was great at these things. And this isn't even talking about the 3-point shot, the longer range shot that I think he's better than him at. Now, I think they're both very good players. It's not to say that Patrick Ewing is trash, but this is just talking about the speed, the capability, and I think really the biggest thing that Patrick Ewing has is his defensive and offensive capability, potentially against bigger players. Now, the last thing is talking about, so for the Knicks, I didn't mention specific players. And really what I was saying is that they were all NBA caliber players and that they had the results within their regular season and playoff runs to show that they're capable players. So to say that they were terrific, I feel
I
that
got you. So you were throwing out that I'm like, oh well, he had, like, obviously I know that Ewing didn't have bum. What I was trying to get at is that Ewing gets criticized for not winning a championship when he's going against dynasties and actually playing considerably well with guys who are not necessarily. And again, right, you can't. The Knicks were a great team without stacking Hall of Famers. The Knicks were a great team. Like Oakley was a very good player. Starks was a very good player, right? Good player, like that. But they were good. But the problem is the Knicks were always, and again, they were always that one guy away. As I'm saying, the same thing about AD. AD has some very good players. Again, Drew Holiday wins 2 championships, one with Giannis, obviously, and the other with the Celtics. Now, again, that's considerable great teams. But again, you're talking about the levels of not even getting over 500 multiple years with AD. So my point was AD's impact. And see, this is the problem. It's almost having both ways. The double-edged sword works both ways because we're trying to be better. And again, the things you were saying, I can agree with the being a better face-up player. I remember AD gets to play center in a league where you could be 6'10", 250, and be a center, right? Without being the most
Mourning
guy.
was like Alonzo Mourning was like 6'10", 250.
You're right, but Alonzo Mourning played a lot bigger. Now you're right, Alonzo Mourning played a lot bigger. Now you're right, they were 6'10", but I'm gonna tell you this: Derek McKee was the backup small forward on those Pacers team. He was 6'10", 240. When you had Antonio and Dale Davis, 6'11" and 6 next to a 7'4". There's a lot when it comes down to it. Okay, I'm gonna put it this way. How about this? Ewing never had the benefit of going up against a PJ Tucker at center. And AD was the power forward playing next to JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard in the rotation. I mean, with LeBron James at 6'9" being his point guard. So when he won the championship, they were like the monster in that bubble. Now, again, that worked to where it worked. But I was just trying to center on, you got to give me 7 great years or the totality of his career. Ewing has more accolades, and again, that's the problem. We're debating greatness now, but I also tried to put in the fact that Ewing effectiveness, especially when you look at the numbers and his peak numbers versus every other great big man, Ewing's peak numbers is second to nobody. And when you look at the playoff battles that he had, again, he had great, considerable playoff battles against multiple Hall of Fame and multiple dynastic teams without a Hall of Fame flank man. Again, good flank man, but not a Hall of Fame flank man. And that's the one thing I think, and yet the Knicks were contenders all those years. And if I'm going to look at AD's career, how many years was he on a contender? Well, let's see. 2020, the bubble season, because there was no season in New Orleans. Now they were supposed to be contenders 2021, but they got knocked out in the first round. A commenter said, "What
he got hurt."
I see, but that was part of my argument too. Ewing was durable. Ewing with those knee pads. Remember those knee pads he wore? Ewing had a lot of lower body, and he only missed 20 games. He did not have a significant injury keeping him out multiple months until you remember when Andrew knocked him out of the game.
All right. Since you want to go to the injury, right?
Go ahead.
How did AD get hurt in 2021?
He pulled his groin. Same injury Caitlin Clark had.
His knee buckled on when he picked Devin Booker's shot to the backboard. He was guarding Booker while he was driving, and he pinned his shit to the glass. When he landed, his knee buckled. Now see, he was able to cover Devin Booker, one of the greatest perimeter players in the league right now. Even back then. So AD can cover out in space better than Patrick Ewing. You don't want Patrick Ewing out there guarding Bradley Beal or
that's fair. That's fair.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's fair.
And also, Ewing, is he a better free throw shooter than AD? I doubt it.
AD shoots better free throws.
And you know what I'm saying? I think when you're asking who's better, I'm thinking you're going. I think your conversation is leaning more to who had the better career. And I can understand that.
I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna do. What for?
You know what I'm gonna do? If who's the better player all around, and then you know what I'm saying. It's not like AD.
I don't think Ewing had the better career either.
Like I'm saying, that's up for debate too.
It is up to debate. It is debatable. It's not like it's a landslide either way. But I thought I proved that Ewing was more effective. Again, if AD's the better defender and offensive player, where are the results? Again, it's almost like saying, again, I'm not going to knock
the NBA Finals.
Hold on. This conversation is about legacies, right? AD, unfortunately, AD, and I think AD, this is the problem I have with LeBron fans too. A lot of your LeBron fans, again, remember Ajani? Y'all did a 9-hour live on how AD is not a rim protector or not a defensive anchor, or whatever the hell you wanted to say. And I thought that was crazy because, see, if he's not a defensive anchor, well, Patrick Ewing was a defensive anchor. Why? Because the Knicks in the 90s.
The 90s center, the 90s bigs play a different role than today's players. Like I said, they got to cover out in space. Anthony Davis, all that. Now, maybe if AD was a better perimeter defender before the knee injuries and all that stuff. Like, remember in the bubble, that was almost 5 years ago. How many times has AD been hurt in that period of time?
They're right there. Are we keeping? See, there's one thing I did. I sat there and said when Ewing played, they knew that Ewing's Achilles was fucked up at halftime of that game too. Ewing played the entire second half against the roughhouse Indiana Pacers. He was barely moving, but he was good enough for them to get that game. You know, I think they won that game. Either way, I know Ewing soldiered through it. AD, you keep talking about how he's being hurt. Again, that's what I'm saying. The durability factor is one thing. Now, FYI just said Ewing choked Ewing is 16-13, and I think Ewing is 16-13 in playoff series, right? Ewing survived 3 elimination games against Larry Bird and with Hall of Famers. Come on, one boy. Is that choking all the time? Ewing choked. Okay, Ewing missed the layup. Yo, I know
he also sold ass in the 1994 finals. Ewing had one of the. Y'all want to talk about meltdowns on LeBron? Ewing had a meltdown in the 94 finals.
Ewing led the 94 finals in rebounds and blocks.
He didn't average 18 points a game. He didn't shoot 50%. He got shut down
Okay,
and he got
okay,
abused.
but now you're gonna talk about what Ewan did do. Lead that series in blocks. He averaged 5.6 blocks a game. He led like 13, 14 rebounds. Again, he got his door cleaned by Akeem Olajuwon. Again, this is a guy that just played 7. If he survived 2 game 7s, one against the Pacers and one against Scottie Pippen's Bulls, how was that choking all the time? You know what I'm saying? That's not fair. That's not fair to say. He played 3 game 7s that year. Again, he set a great pick and roll on. I believe it was Maxwell. See, again, I think it was Ellie guarding Starks on that play. Again, you asking me to remember something from 31 years ago. My mind was still fucking blown by OJ. That fucking OJ chase, real talk. You understand what I'm saying? Honestly, but he set a pick on Ellie, I believe. It was either Ellie or Maxwell was in the game, guarding Starks. Akeem Olajuwon was about 10, 11 feet from Starks. Akeem Olajuwon, and again, that's why I think he's one of the greatest defensive players of all time, if not the greatest, recovered and blocked John Starks. Wide open 3 at the end of game 6. If John Starks shoots that 3, the series is over right there. Again, you went had a representative final. Yes, he got outplayed by Akeem. Akeem outplayed everybody in those 2 years, including Shaq and Robinson. So if you're going to tell me that, again,
I
having
wouldn't
a
say
group,
he outplayed Shaq. Shaq went at his
Jesus.
neck in the final. Shaq was like 28-13 in the 95 finals.
Oh God! So
I mean, his
AD
issue,
battle
Shaq's
zone
issue
defense.
was foul trouble. Shaq couldn't stay out of foul trouble. He had 5 fouls in 3 of the games.
I mean, see, that's that's a problem. That's getting outplayed. If you can't be disciplined enough, see, it's like we hold things against one person. Yeah, Shaq got swept 5 times. I don't think Ewan got swept 1 time, and that's against the Bulls in '91 when Stu Jackson had no business being the fucking coach of the Knicks. That's the only time Ewan got swept in his whole career. Even again, you know what I'm saying? AD was 1-8 against the Warriors. Those dynastic Warriors. But he was one. Matter of fact, 2014 they won the dynasty yet. 2014 that was the first year. 2015 they lost again.
They won in 2015.
That's what I'm saying. But they lost in 2014.
Yeah,
So that was
first,
before
and they lost in 7 to the Clippers.
Well, not AD. Yeah, I know. I'm talking about the Warriors.
Talk about the Warriors, yeah.
Yeah, the Warriors. That's when they lost the Clippers. Mark Jackson was still the coach. But that's what I'm saying. That's who AD lost to the first time. But
by the time AD gets drafted, Chris Paul is already gone, and he's in LA.
No, I got that, but he got Drew Holiday and Rondo at one point.
All right, but that wasn't in the beginning of his career. He didn't have Rondo until like what 2017, 2018.
Okay, that's cool. But then he did have Drew Holiday for 5 years.
Eric Gordon, they had Eric Gordon, but he wasn't going to get Anthony Davis over the hump. Tyreek Evans was off. Tyreek Evans ain't in the league because he was an off-court issue. So you know what I'm saying? Like I said, and you got other guys like Dante Cunningham and Etuan Moore. I mean, Darius Miller, he just passed away.
All I'm saying is, like, because we'll say you won't always choke. Again, you don't always choke when early in your career, you 5 years in and you survive 3 elimination games against Larry Bird, McHale, and Parrish. I mean, again, and then when I sit there and I looked at AD played in 12 playoff series his whole career. He went played in 29. He went in 16-13, 87-5. Again, he only played 3 before LeBron. And then with LeBron, you're 4 in, I don't know, you 5, there's 7, he actually, because he won the 1, so he won 8 playoff series with LeBron, he lost 4. 4 of them, half of them being in the bubble. Call it what you want. It's a lot different. It's a lot different flow than you were playing 3 game 7s in 95. 94. Because that took by the time he's in the finals, you done played 100-something games in a season. No 4-month break. I'm just saying, like, if we're gonna again, look, it's a good debate, but Ewing has more success, have more personal, like, top of the league type accolades. If you're going to tell me top 5 MVP finishes don't matter, I think he had technically a better prime. and AD is still in his prime, you know, again, he's got more story to write, which is why, you know, at the end of it, yeah, he could have a better career. That's what we're talking about, legacies. He's got to do something in Dallas, show he can, because arguably that was LeBron's team, right? Or I can make an argument that it was AD's team, but Ewing played every season as the man, every season until he's winds up with the Magic and the fucking Sonics, of course. But every season in New York, even the season where he's passing it off to Sprewell in Houston, they get to the conference finals. Ewing is still a captain, still a backbone, and they beat Alonzo Mourning, who was just number 2 or number 3 in MVP himself, and was Defensive Player of the Year back-to-back years in 99 and 2000. He beat Little Brother 3 times out of 4 years. Ewing deserves a little bit more respect on his name. That's all I'm saying. That's why I wanted to have the debate with Dart in the first place.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. I think first of all, I think the AD versus Ewing thing was a bad debate because especially after you're going to debate one guy that's his career was over and done with live.
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
even though AD,
I said they're 31 years apart.
But how long has AD been giving us 25 and 10?
I get it.
And he's he's still in his early 30s.
I get it, but then here's how I look at greatness. Here's how I look at greatness. You were individually great, because there are a lot of individually great players that played on mediocre teams. Sometimes you can't help playing on mediocre teams. It's just about what happens on the team around you. But if I'm going to separate the men from the boys, huh?
You don't think Ewing played on the mediocre team? You was just talking about
the Knicks okay. But wait a minute. But hold on, my boy. Not having that, the Knicks were still contenders throughout the 90s until 2000, where they got to the conference finals with him on his last leg. 38 years old, 37 years old, post Achilles surgery. So again. The success is there. You talking about 4 conference finals. AD's been in 2. And the one he got to, they got swept in it. He got his ass bucked by the Joker. All I'm saying, we look at things one way and we don't look at it the next way. AD, if you want to look at it, see, here's the real debate: AD versus Giannis, and we all know who will win that debate. You have to be really, really crazy. You have to make a really good argument to put AD over Giannis. But honestly,
you got to make that same.
Be the better player.
If you want to look at the whole body of work, you could just give Giannis the nod off the 2 MVPs in the deport.
Exactly.
But both of them have been good. Both of them have
been. It's an argument, but it's an argument
because they've both been great for just the same amount of time. Giannis came in the league a year after.
Yeah,
but Giannis, when he first got to the league, it wasn't, you the guy, you got to change the franchise around. They were still playing through Brandon Jennings by the time that Giannis got there. When AD got to New Orleans, it was, you got to be the guy. And if you want some context, y'all guys always forget about this about AD. He had a growth spurt of 8 inches from his junior year to his senior year in high school. So he's still a point guard at heart and body.
Same thing happened to Melo.
He did not bulk up until like his 5th year in the league. Because he got a bang. He's getting bumped off his spot. AD is 250 and he's not as weak as everybody think he is. But when he's got a bang with guys like Rudy Gobert, Joker, or Embiid, those guys are just naturally stronger than him.
It's a different story. So my thing is, AD's a power forward at best, maybe even a small forward in the 90s where he could be a center. I get it. Same thing. Giannis, when he got in the league, was a 6'8", 190. I thought he would be Stacey Augmon. I literally thought this thing. I said, if this guy is like a Stacey Augmon, little did I know this nigga would grow into a 6'11", 250-pound monster. And again, they did say when they drafted him, he's 19, he's 18 and still growing. But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Melo got the growth spurt. So did David Robinson. You couldn't join the Navy at a 7'1". The Navy, the highest you could join the Navy, you could only be 6'8". So he outgrew, like they couldn't. That's why they let him out early, because he could be on ships.
All right.
Hey, Lamar, what's going on?
All right, hold on, Lamar, what you got on this, man?
Yeah, no, the AD. This is the AD Ewing comparison is kind of nasty.
It is. It's a hard debate to have. Me and Dawn had it on.
Yeah, I don't think it's a hard debate. I just think a lot of times, I think you're just being unfair to AD because when you argue for Ewing, you say that Ewing had to go against bigger players, but Ewing definitely had to go against bigger players. But he also Ewing had every all-stars gold. Every great player that's ever played basketball, the one thing that they love on a basketball court is a one-on-one matchup. And with the illegal defense and with the way star players abuse the illegal defense rule, he was afforded the luxury of really just attacking one-on-one matchups. This is what you work on all summer. Like, I can't imagine what players of today, bigs of the day, especially the bigs who are more versatile, who are a little bit quicker, who have better dribble packages. I can't imagine what they would do if they were afforded the luxury of being defended 1v1 because of a legal defense rule. And you can literally see where the help is coming from on every single play. As opposed to when we watch AD struggle, teams are sending bodies after bodies after bodies at him. There is no single player in this league that stopped AD. AD gets stopped by units. He don't get stopped by players. He gets stopped by units.
Yeah, because ain't nobody guard him one-on-one.
No, you can't guard him one-on-one. Like,
yeah, because he's either got the size or the quickness advantage on anybody that's guarding.
And when you talk about,
I can understand that.
When you talk about
I can understand that. But hold on, Lamar, I can understand that, but that was never part of the fabric of my debate. Actually, I just looked at the fact that their prime numbers are really right there on par. And really what I really kind of got at the fact that was that Ewing was a better defensive anchor. And again, you could say, oh yeah, now having a guard less space and all of that, this, that, and the third. Doesn't matter. See, that's the thing. If you're gonna have a better debate, because that's what it was. We couldn't debate greatness. We couldn't really. So like, I tried to bring in accolades and shit like that, and it's like, well, that's making a greatness argument rather than a better. How do you make a better argument when you're just talking about, okay, AD had more of the guard ability, Ewing had more of the big man ability, then guess what? They're already in two different positions.
How are you calling Ewing an anchor? It's like when Ewing, when he was at his prime, it was multiple centers in the league that was looked at as way better defensive centers.
You're right. You're right. And you know,
so when you talk about AD,
I want you to hear my argument. I want you to hear my argument. You're right, and that's why Ewing has a lack of defensive. He only been on 3 All NBA defensive team. Number one, because he had Mutombos, and I made this argument. That's why that hurt Akeem. There's only 2 spots for centers. AD can get qualified as a center and a power forward. That works in Duncan's advantage as well. So when we just put Duncan against other 7-footers, against Kareem, for example, Kareem was always looked at as a center. He never got the luxury of being a power forward and a center. Ewing did actually. Go ahead.
Well, I'm saying I don't need to use a defensive team to know that there were a lot of centers better defensively than Ewing.
You're right, but here's what I'm going to look at. Here's what I'm going to look at. The Knicks, and I get it. I get Oakley was a big part of that defense as well. The defensive backbone, but at the end of the day, Ewing was still the defensive anchor of the team, the best defense, because the Knicks were the best defensive team of the 90s. They never fell outside of the top 5. The one year they did, Don Nelson was the coach, tried to do some other shit. Van Gundy took over. The Knicks was still 6th that year. Then they were 4th, second. Now I looked at Akeem and Robinson's defensive stats for their team. They were in the teens. They were in the teens a lot of the years. They had only a couple of years where they were top 3. So as I'm saying, because I don't believe one guy is ever responsible for a defensive. All I'm saying, and I could say that Olajuwon was a better defender than Ewing, but what I'm saying is being the defensive anchor of a team. Now, AD should be one of the best defensive players of his generation too, right? Well, he's only been a
I'm
top
saying
defense
AD.
twice. Hold on.
No, I'm saying, yeah, but that's you counting defensive. I'm saying that if you look at over the last 10 years, if you were to ask who if you list the top 5 defensive players in the NBA over the last 10 years, AD would be in that top 5, and a lot of people would have him close to 1.
Cool.
You
Now let
can't
me
do
ask you
that with
this
Ewing in the
then,
90s. You can't do that.
Why did y'all have
that?
Why did y'all have that stream about whether AD was a defensive anchor or not?
Well, what we were talking about was what Johnny was talking about, because now I say Johnny's talking point. But if you want to ask me my thoughts on, if you want to ask me my thoughts about AD,
you were there. I heard a lot of them.
In today's NBA, your center, it's very hard for your center to be an anchor if you're only asking that center to be a rim protector. So, because again, your center in today's NBA is just a little different, right?
I got it.
I'm not gonna take. Yes, Ewing definitely was an anchor in the '90s because centers could stay in the paint all day, and you never had the threat of your man going out to the 3-point line sniping you down. And you really didn't have to worry about 1,000,001 pick and rolls and switches and all that. So yeah, he could sit in the paint and be an anchor. All I'm saying is with AD, with the way the Lakers were asking him to defend, there was just no way he could be an elite anchor for
no, and I get that part. See, that's a fair point. Honestly, that's a fair point. But see, if I'm going to make again, this is my debate. I'm going to have the debate with Dart. The center of my debate, because Ewing was drafted out of Georgetown. Remember, you know that John Thompson was Bill Russell's backup a couple of years in the night. So he learned a lot of his defensive principles, which is why he basically, had 3 Hall of Fame centers that he coached there at Georgetown, and he coached them on those Bill Russell principles, right? Ewing was drafted to be Bill Russell to the Knicks. They never, he wasn't drafted to be, but when I look at the fact that he upheld his end of the bargain as a defensive player for a long time, even when he was falling off, he still had those defensive principles where the Knicks never fell off defensively, no matter whether it was Allen Houston in the backcourt or John Starks and Sprewell, whatever. Glenn Rice for 1 year. Glenn Rice traded for him. I'll buck it up there. But at the end of the day, Ewing upheld his part to be the Russell, but he also became one of the better offensive centers in the league as well. That's just the basis of my argument. AD again was drafted to be something different, drafted to be a different. But at the end of the day, then I'm going to look at the Knicks having moderate level such the 2 finals. Again, all of those wars with the Celtics, all of the 2 wars with the Celtics, a couple of with Barkley in them, 4 with the Bulls. All of them, 4 wars with the Warning in the Heat, 4 wars to our playoff wars. When you look at 29 playoff series, where was the cupcake? The cupcake maybe was Cleveland one year, and he played against Mutombo, and he was on the winning end of it. Remember, they swept Mutombo with Ewing. They swept Mutombo's Hawks, and the Knicks were 8 seed, right? They beat Alonzo Mourning 3 years in a row. I mean, Ewing had a lot of battles with a lot of great big men. And when I start looking at AD's matchups, again, what would Ewing doing with a Draymond Green on him? And you want to tell me about the double teams and all that? I don't know. Again, it's hard because you're talking about a 31-year career difference. Ewing played obviously in a different league. That's why, I say fairness. We should have had a Giannis Ewing versus a contemporary, and I'll be honest because Dart did give me players to pick, but I just wanted him to put a little bit more respect on Ewing's name. Yo, whoever on Bleacher Report got Ewing at number 80, you come on, Lamont. You telling me there's 79 better players than Patrick Ewing in NBA history?
That's not hard to see though, yo.
79, bro. Come on, boy. Really 79? Come on now. Man. How many? Wait. How many? You told me 79 guys that could make the big top 5. Ewing was top 4 MVP. most of those years.
But he's been, but you think about the history of the NBA, Ewing's barely a top 10 center.
Okay, well, since it's actually probably owned.
He might not be right now.
Okay,
At the
if
end
it
of
was
his
top
career,
25 players, then really Sintis as his top 30, in my opinion, because Ewing definitely belongs to the top 30. Sintis should be 1/3 of that because Sintis have historically dominated the league. They've been dominant. They've dominated as far as that's why Sintis were picked first, pretty much up until the Jordan era where we started picking wings. Where wings were more the what's the first. As for the league's history, Sintis was the key to a championship. This is why Sam Bowie was drafted over Ewing. I mean, over Jordan, because they thought a center, even though they knew Jordan probably be a better player, they thought a center would be the quicker part to winning than a wing. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, 79. Come on, bro. That's just ridiculous. Okay, even if you win it, first of all, Ewing is a top 10 center. I'm not here. You want to tell me Joker the best? First of all, Joker defensively. It's not even close. And in the offense, being that he can run an era where and obviously he would have been, Joker has more offensive skills as far as, he don't have more, in my opinion, Joker probably would have been a power forward in Ewing's era. Not a small. He'd have been more of a dirt. In his era, because now you got PJ Tuckers playing centers for playoff teams. Come on, man, that never would have happened in Ewing's era, and that's what I'm saying. It's just a different league, so it works both ways. It works both ways. So look at that. AD got work to do, bro. He's been in the league for 13 years now,
and he's a multiple-time All-Star. He's an NBA champion. He's a 2-time gold medalist. Like,
okay, so
like this is things.
So was Ewing though. And again, all right, individual for Ewing. Again, AD if he wants to get if Giannis and what's the name should have been Michael and was like Michael and Prince now. Now that shit is like Michael and fucking Rockwell. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. I mean, really, Giannis is killing it. So his own concern. I can sit there and tell you how Ewing, especially for a lot of years, especially knowing that Mr. Akeem Olajuwon is overrated, pulled up. Ewing was better than all those years where the Olajuwon didn't get out the first round. Guess who did get out the first round? Ewing did multiple times. So those years, I said Ewing was a better player. And then 94, 95, the years that he won the 2 championships when Jordan was out of the league, well, then Olajuwon took over. But Ewing was better for a good 5-6 years. He was.
Okay, but you got to consider. All right, so if you're saying that Ewing was better than Olajuwon before Olajuwon won the rings, then you got to take a little bit away from Ewing because that was his time to prove that, I'm the man, Jordan ain't around. And then Hakeem was like, nah, dude, like, this is me. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, that was I understand the sentiment towards Ewing as a Knicks fan, but you know what I'm saying? Like, let's be realistic. You know what I'm saying? Like,
at the very least, hold on, but at the very least, one boy, Ewing was on par, and the numbers say it. Ewing was on par with Robinson. It's not at one point where they just dusted him and left him in the dust. No, because guess what? When Robinson fucked up his back, Ewing was still leading teams to contentionship. Then Robinson got Duncan to finally get his ring. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, Olajuwon went and took his 2 rings, and then we know Shaq did his thing eventually. Mind you, Shaq didn't get to a finals. Well, he got to the finals in 95, got swept, but he didn't get to another one, and so Kobe became it. You would never had a Kobe. Again, you would never had a Drexler. You would never had a Duncan. So if I'm just going to look at it, okay, you want to tell me Ewing is the run of the 4? Okay, but Ewing ain't that far behind him, and the numbers show it. That's what I'm saying. The numbers show it, and the fact that Ewing team never fell off like that. Ewing anchored a better deep, because again, there was a fall. I forgot there was a fall off for Olajuwon after 96. Well, Ewing was still leading the number 2 seed in 96, 97. And then again, 98. Again, Knicks was doing fine. They're one of the best defenses in the league. And then Andrew Lane fucking pushes him out the air going up for a dunk. He fell on his wrist. That's the first time he missed any significant games for injury. So that's all I'm saying. Because if you're going to look at you when his contemporaries, he's with all of them. If you tell me he's the fourth best of them, he's still with them. And look, Robinson had 6-7 years where he was the man. After the back injury, now he slowed up. Again, but Robinson's rookie year beat Larry Bird. You gotta give him that, bro. It's like we don't want to. It's like, okay, you ain't never got the ring. And that's what ring coaches fucked up. Because you ain't never got the ring and he was close. Then all we look at him as a choke artist. And that's not fair. Come on, man. You had a lot of battles. He never got it done. Again, it's not simple as saying because he got Sprewell, but he got him a little too late, man. So all I'm saying is, okay, yeah, 80 got the ring. 80 got the ring, the bubble ring. Everybody, it's a ring, it's a ring. Again.
Shit, if Ewan didn't get hurt in '99, they'd have talk about an asterisk on his ring.
Why?
Because they won it in the shortened season.
I mean,
that was what Phil Jackson was saying about the Spurs when they won it in '99.
I would say that. We had a full playoffs. Look, we all know that was a labor dispute. They wanted to make sure that Cats didn't get $75 million because Jordan broke the bank. So they came up with the max salary structure. They came up with, they locked the players out and they came with the lock back salary. But see, the max salary structure didn't fucked it up because guys like John Smith making $18 million a year and shit. So they had to, it's just what goes on. But that was a labor dispute. They still played the season. It was 50 games, but the Knicks just got through that season the best way they could. And but it went. Why would it be an asterisk knowing he was battling mad injuries like that? If he made it through and then beat Duncan and what's the name? Come on now. I mean, look, I'm not one to say there's an asterisk on LeBron's ring in 2012. That's his first ring, and that was a lockout short season. We doing that too? I don't do that.
Should they play more games than they played in the first lockout?
That's true, but still. I mean, look, it ain't like
it wasn't like it was no fluke. He won the next year.
True, but still. I mean, come on, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like people say Duncan won 5. They don't say it was an asterisk on the first one. They won. And look, bro, Duncan and Robinson, Chris Dudley was starting fucking center game. Come on, man. If you want to talk about
because Ewan was hurt. I know that, but Camby was supposed to be the backup. He wasn't supposed to be. Him and Dudley weren't supposed to be.
Camby was hurt. That's what I'm saying.
They didn't account for Ewan getting hurt. That happened. You know what I'm saying? So that happened. You know what I'm saying? I'm not taking nothing away because of the injury, but the injuries happen. Shit, what's the name? Ain't nobody doing.
I get it.
You know what I mean? Shit, KD, the Warriors suffered 2 injuries in the finals to 2 of their key players.
As I said, right? As I said, that's people shit on Durant. Their Achilles injury away from him 3-peating. I mean, what you gonna take away the 3-peat because he went? I don't do that. I started this podcast saying I don't do that. I don't fuck with cats can do what they want in free agency. Like, free agency is a 4 right, so cats can do what the hell they want. And he played, you can't beat him, join him, fine. But he had to still go out there and win because they almost lost to the Rockets, remember?
Yes,
they down 3-2 against the Rockets.
Yeah, they did. They lost the series to the Rockets when Chris Paul was hurt.
And then people also say if Zaza Pachulia don't trip up Kawhi Leonard, they might not have won too. So people acting like Golden State was a fucking done deal. That's not fair. You don't know that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the Spurs was blowing them out before Kawhi got hurt.
Yeah, man. So look, man, it's after midnight, man. Look, my phone is giving me. It's still on 1%, but it's making it. But yo, Juwan boy, you see, we had a good discussion, man. We don't agree on everything, but we speak. You know what I mean? This has been the first legacy series about the current players. We did go back to the Ewan and the Ewans of the world and some of the other cats, but yeah, man, I'm gonna speak about legacy. The next one we're gonna talk about the 2000 players, the Kobe, Dirk, Nash. We talked a little bit about Nash. We're gonna talk about their generation. You know what I'm saying? What was it? That's why I'm trying. Oh, Joe. Oh, Joe. Who's Joe?
Oh man, I just wanted to let you know that I got a subscription to ChatGPT and I've been looking at the numbers if you want to
Okay.
look at them. And you look at Patrick Ewing's numbers. He uh he played 17 seasons. AD's played 13.
Mm-hmm.
And hold on a sec. I probably need to close my YouTube. Just 1 second.
Okay. Good. All right.
I'm sorry, but hold on. I'm just going to close my
Yeah. No
YouTube
problem. No problem.
so it's not feeding back on me. All right. So, anyways, it's interesting to look at because they're different eras. Like for I put it in the chat, but Patrick Ewing only had 125 career three-point attempts, and that's in 17 years. And Anthony
Uh huh.
Davis has almost had 1,400, 1,397. So we're obviously different kinds of players. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No doubt. It's a different game. That's what I'm saying. Like you wouldn't take your
So
125
okay,
for a big man. That's a ton.
well, and you know what ChatGPT said? It said, look, uh, it said the only reason he had those threes is because toward the end of his career, it started to become more common. So
Yeah.
I'd asked the AI, I said, look, can you adjust Ewing for the modern era? And it's a little interesting. It says, okay, we got the baseline, Ewing's career stats. Now we're going to adjust for the modern era. And it says approximately 15 to 20% pace and style boost. So instead of 21 points per game, they're going to give him 24 to 25, more possessions plus expanded offensive spacing. Rebounds per game,
Uh-huh.
slight pace and rebound opportunity increase. Assists per game, bigs pass more in today's game. See Jokic, Davis, Embiid. Blocks per game, rim protection is still critical, no major change. Steals per game, he had one, he averaged one. They're going to bump it from 1 to 1.2. Defensive activity slightly up. I'm almost done with this list. And then field goal percentage, they're giving him a little bump from 50.4% to 52 to 54. Modern spacing helps finishers. And then, of course, the 3-point attempts is the big one. He averaged zero point 0.1. They're going to give him 1.5 to 2 per game. Likely
Wow.
would develop a reliable mid corner or pickup pop three, and then they're going to give him a little bump in his free throw percentage, but not much. So then you put him next to AD, and so now obviously this is artificial, but given those factors, here's your points per game. They're showing you in having 24.5. Anthony Davis, 24.1. Now, Anthony's only played 13 years and Ewing played 17. Their rebounds are dead matched 10.7,
Mhm.
10.7. The assists are close. The blocks, Ewing has zero point 0.3 more blocks. Steals, AD's got a slight edge. Their shooting field goal percentage is right around the same. I think that's why it's such a hard debate because
It is,
and
man.
because they're so but see they're giving Ewing a better 3 point uh, 3 pointers made percentage because of the 125 he shot, his actual stat was 34.4%. So but they're going to give him 32 to 35, whereas AD is up at almost 30%, 29.6.
30%.
But
Yeah.
that's
You
that's
had
saying a
you
lot.
had that hit.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
saying a
no,
lot for AD. He shot 1,400, but it's a completely different game. So, what are they saying? They give me the conclusion. Modernized Ewing matches Davis in scoring and rebounding and likely blocks more shots. Davis has the edge in free throw percentage and has proven himself as a stretch big despite a modest 3-point percentage. Playmaking is comparable. Team success. Davis has an NBA title and played a central role in that championship, which Ewing never achieved despite playoff success. So it says, and I'll finish up here. I'm moonlighting as a low budget self research. In today's
Yeah, man.
NBA,
Listen,
Patrick,
yeah, shout out to self research, man.
yeah, in today's NBA, Patrick Ewing would likely be Anthony Davis's peer, a dominant two-way big man, top 10 player, and an all NBA candidate every year. He'd be less
So
perimeter
fair.
oriented than Davis, but potentially more efficient and durable in the paint. So there you go. That's just ChatGPT since I got a subscription.
Yeah,
It's not, you adjust Ewing for the modern era, and there's a lot of similarities,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot. There's a lot. I mean, maybe you stays in better shape, loses a couple of pounds. So you needed bulk back then to go up against. Think about this. All them battles with the Pacers. You're talking 7'4", 6'11", and Lamar said there's no double teams. Right? No, there was plenty of double teams. I mean, plenty of double teams. Charles Oakley is your power forward most of those years. You can double off of
Mm,
Oakley to get to you. You think Oakley was spacing the floor? Oakley did have a nice little reliable 15-footer when we get on the ball, but I mean, come on, you're gonna live with Oakley rather than letting Ewing get 1-on-1 off that low block. Off again, Ewing played a lot off the low block, then would turn and face, hit an 18-foot. I mean, look, Ewing had a lot. Again, he had a lot of things to his game. Ewing had more
what I was
dunks. That's one thing. Ewing had more dunks when it was Mark Jackson getting on the ball. If you looked at it, Ewing had a lot of dunks when Mark Jackson was getting the ball. Once they traded Mark Jackson away, Ewing never had a season over 25 points a game. You know what I'm saying? So when you
Yeah.
tell me that AD played with a Rondo, he's played with a LeBron for 5 years. He's played with a Rondo again in LA. He's played with some of these elite playmakers that he's played with. Ewing, that's one thing the Knicks were always missing, and another elite playmaker after Mark Jackson. You know?
Yeah,
So
and
that's a
what I was saying in the comments is I kind of zoned out of NBA at the early 2000s, and I was joking that when I came back, there was a smiley face under in the paint under the hoop. There's got to be some year where we can say everything pre this year, it was a different game, and everything after it,
yeah,
and we have to
it definitely
acknowledge that in
yeah,
these debates because it's
yeah.
hard to really make comparisons.
That's what I'm saying. And when they talk about see, you had a lot of freedom of movement that's pushed the game more towards perimeter players, right? The freedom of movement rules, because this is why Gary Payton, right? It used to be 31, 32 was the fall off year for most point guards. Well, guys like Gary Payton and those guys, Jason, their prime years was 2000. Right, they're 32. I mean, they're
Mm,
32 years, but they started putting up better years after the 2000s when the freedom of movement rules were put in place. And they put in their supposed prime years in the 90s. Like, so, yeah, this is when Gilbert Arenas started getting the freedom to shoot more shots and shit like that. You started seeing point
well,
guards averaging over 25 when you didn't see many point guards averaging 25 and up
mm,
prior to 2000. You
yeah,
know
it
what I'm
was a
saying?
different game. It was different for
It was a
sure.
different game. That's what I'm saying. So it really
And
was again.
here,
No, and look, like I said, the Dart won the debate because I know I fucked up. I misspoke on a couple of
I
things, but I do think
wasn't
Dart.
there, so don't worry.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Rex and T Perfect, formerly of Go James Kingdom, were the two judges. And again, they gave Dart credit. I just think though there was some holes in Dart's argument. I mentioned it in the comments, and I told them I would love to have a post-debate discussion. We did, look, Dart is driving home from trying
I
to
know.
outrun a tsunami, bro. Like,
What is
it's
it?
perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Well, I just typed in on the chat GPT. I said compare Ewing and Davis's dunks.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
no,
interesting because for Anthony, they're saying he's got 1,475, 11th all time, dunk style and context, high volume finisher, athletic follow ups, and alley oops. And then for Patrick, all it says is not tracked, significantly fewer. Classical post style execution, fewer athletic slams. But from what you're saying, from what you remember, I don't even think they tracked that back then.
Look, one of Ewan's nickname is Beast. There was a lot of years. There was a couple of years early before. Like Ewan was a better leaper before he started having knee problems. Ewan was a Ewan. That's the next thing. Ewan had an 8-foot wingspan. I never even realized his wingspan was 8. He's 7 feet tall with a wingspan of a foot taller than his height. Usually it's like 6 or 7. That's a lot.
Yo, that's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot.
Everybody talks about how Ewing got dunked on so many times. Ewing blocked so many fucking shots. If you go and look, see, that's the thing. They don't. When a shot blocker alls the dunker or the driver, those don't get put on posters. But when he gets posterized, that gets put on posters. So Ewing,
I guarantee you, every single player who's ever been in the NBA has probably at least been posterized once or twice in his life.
And because they went up to block everything, and I know that. Hey, go Cap! I'm about to shut it down. I just want to finish up with it. With this.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, right, man. Friend. It was. Yo, thanks for pulling up. Thanks for the info.
All right,
yeah, man.
I'm gonna drop out. I'll let you summarize, my friend. Good times.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So we gonna close it out, man. Again, me and Juan Boy be going at it like cats and dogs. Props for him for pulling up. I always invite people to pull up, whether you agree with me or not. The young boy, what's his name? I forget his name. He pulled
Scat or something. Yeah, he was up in here.
16-year-old. But again, like I said, props to him. He wants McZuggins in the wing. I'm trying to get McZuggins over here, man. Hopefully he replied to my email, and we'll see about having him up for Thursday's show. Because we're going to talk about legacies. We're going to get into the 2000 eras player. That means the Kobe's, the Dirks, the Nashes, the Duncans, those era players. We're going to talk about their legacies because their legacies is in the book. So we're going to talk about their careers is over. They're in the books. So we're going to talk about their legacies and all that. And yeah, we're just going to do a whole legacy series, man. All right, guys.
Hey, congrats on getting above 100, King Speech.
Yeah, man. I finally they put me in bars. I better have some. I better get 100 subs. So guys, like, subscribe. I hope the channel keeps growing, man. Like I said, I'm humbled to have this platform, and I'll just continue on. But yeah, thanks, man. All right. Hey, yeah, go Cats for sure. He had some wild take, but we had a simple discussion. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I invite these guys to pull up, man. Y'all be killing me on FYF. FYF pull up. We had he said you won't always choke, which is a lie. You can't always choke when he's won. He's actually has a winning record in Game 7s. Yeah, he won 2 Game 7s in 1 year. He won the Game 5 against Larry Bird. Like I believe Ewan has like a 16-13 record in elimination games. That's not always choking. He survived a lot of elimination games, man. It's crazy, but again, I had to put off on boy Ewan, and I guess I've used up a lot of my material when we get to the '90s players, but we will definitely talk about the legacy of one Michael Jordan when we get to that show. Yeah, man, go Cash. Thanks as always for producing. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you, man, and yeah, we're gonna hold it down when you gonna be gone, but I'll get with you on setting up the live so we can just jump into it. But thanks, man. Hey guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you Thursday.